I used to perform for 20, 30 people. I used to be like the first act. The locks would still be in their hotel. It'd be me, the DJ. DJ would be like, all right, it's kind of like rehearsal. I turn around, Ross has his hand going. I was like, oh shit, all right, I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
I turned back around and finished performing. Like, yo, you killed that. He's like, send me those records. I'm gonna jump on one of them. I was like, oh shit. And lo and behold, a month later, they sent the record. I also feel like there's a black cloud over Yonkers. That's why we named our company Black Cloud.
Why do you say that?
Not too many people make it out.
Do you think that has something to do with the people that you said that they get comfortable?
That, and I feel like the support system really isn't there.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Burn Down. Today in the studio, we have Tony Moxberg, Yonkers native, Black Cloud Entertainment, Don Alessandro Wine, D-Block affiliate. What's up, my brother? Welcome.
What's going on? Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you making the drive, man. I know, listen, I people that don't understand traffic, okay? Everybody says, yeah, I got traffic. I said, fuck you. You don't know traffic, okay? Come to Long Island, come to Queens, come
it's
to...
the brutal. It's the worst.
Like, you don't know traffic when you get across...
You got to be here again tomorrow,
They
you said.
actually took me through the whole Queens to get here.
Really?
To avoid the highway.
It did?
I swear to God. I seen every single house. I felt like a realtor.
Why the hell did it take you around? It took you like the roundabout way. I know exactly
all
which
the streets.
I know exactly which way.
Sometimes I feel like the map, the iPhone maps.
But I was looking at the highway, and the highway was dead stop traffic.
Okay, so at least
it took me the better route.
Would you rather be moving and take a little longer than dead stop? You know?
Yes,
Yeah.
every single
I'd
time.
rather be moving.
I don't care if it takes 20 minutes longer, as long as I'm
yeah.
moving still.
I
That is
can't
what
stand.
it is.
I drives me nuts. So anyway, appreciate you making the trek. We're gonna have a good episode here. We talking about some hip hop, talk about how you got into the game, talk about cigars, talk about wines. But we want to just say thank you for making the trip, man.
All love, bro.
Yeah, we
Thanks for
got
having
a shout out to your friend Joe Tominelli, who
Yeah.
introduced
Yes,
us. So we
yes.
met Joe at one of our friend Tony Peck's cigar networking events a couple months ago at Mamaroneck in Mamaroneck, and he said, "Hey, you know, I'm friends with all these guys. They love cigars. I think they should be some good guests on your show." And I said, "Well, you're talking to a guy who is enthralled in hip hop, 90s and 2000s. So now you're talking my language." So that's how we got hooked up, and now it's coming to fruition. So Tony Moxberg in the studio, the podcast studio, not the hip hop studio. But my first question to you, my friend, is who's Tony? What were you like in high school? You know, how did people know you? How'd you grow up? Where'd you come from? Give us a little bit of autobiography about yourself.
We know you're the Yonkers,
Yonkers, New York,
right?
Born and raised.
But we want to know how, like, what was it like in high school? Like, because we love to talk about the beginnings, right? Because there's always the where we are right now, what we got going on right now. But I want to take it back and start. Okay, how did you get into hip hop? Like, who were you? Were you always loving hip hop? Were you always freestyling? Were you always? And then, like, how did you get into that?
I always loved hip hop. Never thought about like rapping, even all the way like in high school. Just we would fuck around with it and all that. But
How long have you been rapping?
over 20 years.
Wow.
But like a lot of it was like
Moving around.
yeah, not really crazy.
Yeah.
Then like maybe 12, 13 years ago, started getting serious.
Started becoming like a profession.
Yeah, I would get features from Jadakiss, Style, Chic,
Wow.
like records with Fab, and money started coming in, doing like shows here and there.
Wow.
In the beginning, I was never getting booked. Like nobody would book me, so we started renting clubs out, and then just inviting everybody.
So
and
like
charging them $20 at the door.
Yeah.
throwing a party.
I booked myself.
Yeah,
And
there you go.
I would make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000.
That's a smart move, man.
And I started doing that, and then shout out to my business partner, Big Mike. He's in Connecticut, biggest DJ. He was huge on the mixtape scenes. He wanted to start doing concerts, so me and him would start booking all these acts, huge acts. And we booked almost every single artist you can think of.
And
for
is this still like you're renting out a joint?
We
and
rented
you booking
out.
them?
We would rent out like, for example, we would rent out the Oakdale Theater. That's in Wallingford, Connecticut. It's a Live Nation building. To rent that place out, it's like there's two different rooms. One's like $20,000. The other one's like $50,000.
Now, how many people can you fit in these rooms? Like,
the smaller room was 2,000. The bigger room was like 5,500. So depending on the artist,
okay, so yeah,
The-
charge
depending
$100
on the-
a head. You know,
depending on the artist, we would figure out what room we needed or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you charge $200 a head at 2,000 people.
No, we were charging like, some concerts would get to $200, but we were charging like $40, $50, $60, and we would make a lot of money. But we had to pay for everything: artists, promotion, the building.
Yeah, it depends on who you got.
We take
a lot
the
of
loss.
overhead.
We take the loss, but I would open up every single show for them. So it's like
Free publicity for you.
Yeah, and I was like pretty much paying myself to. I was making more than some rappers that we were booking. So
that's a really smart move to say, you know what, I'm gonna book myself. But it's basically like, throwing an event.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a Christmas party or some shit. I'm gonna rent out a joint and invite people
Like
to
we
the
would
party and
book
say
like,
it's $100 a head or $50 a head. So you're booking yourself.
We booked Meek Mill. I'd open up. French Montana. I'd open up. Fabulous. I'd open up. The Locks. That's my family. They would give me a discount. We booked them 3 times a year.
Wow.
I would open up.
So this is like before people were knowing like who Tony Mox was. You're saying I would book these. They would come and see Meek, but I would get open up and see me.
Exactly.
You would come and see French. And
I know exactly what you mean.
Right.
I know exactly what you mean.
I was getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, but when we booked the younger artists, I knew not to open up for that crowd. I did it in the beginning for some shows, but there's like 14 and 15-year-olds just looking at me like, who the hell is this? So I was like, all right, you know what? Let them do. I'll just collect the money. Because like we booked like
but like an organizer at that point.
Like, we booked every Lil Uzi a bunch of times.
Wow.
So started doing that.
And that was like you said about 15 years ago is when you...
We started like 15 years ago, maybe like 12, 13 years ago, all the way up to like COVID. And then
you were doing that, renting stuff out, booking yourself.
Yeah, but I was also going on tour with the Locks.
Okay.
The time. In the beginning, I was going on tour with the Locks. I would just tell them like, yo, let me just get like a couple of minutes on stage. I would pay my own way, my own hotel. Just give me 4 minutes or 5 minutes on stage. And I don't want $1 from nobody. I was just going,
You want the exposure.
Right. Every single state. We were going places I've never been to in my life. And little by little, I was getting their fan base. I was getting more and more fans little by little to the point where I would go on tour now and everything's paid for. I'm getting paid with the Locks. And so, it worked out.
Yeah, I was just going to say, everything planned out for you. Yeah, because, I haven't been to a lot of concerts, right? But I've seen, I've seen J. Cole 4 or 5 times, but Wale, Jay-Z, but Jay-Z was on his own level. So, but like those guys, Wale, J. Cole, before who they were, they always had the upcoming artists first, and they're always like, always 2 hours or so before they would always show up. And when I was younger, I was like, who are these dudes? Why? Like, I didn't come here. Like, I came here to pay for Wale or J. Cole.
Right.
I don't know who these guys are, but as I grew up, I understand it's
a
hustle that you got to do.
That's part of it. Yeah.
I would do it. I would go on right before the major act.
Okay.
Right? I would be the last person. And the other acts, the opening acts, we would have them like sell tickets, which helps with the overhead. Like, so they're guaranteed. If you want to open up, we're not going to charge you the $2,500 or $5,000, whatever it is, but sell these tickets.
But you got to sell these tickets
to your family, friends, or whatever. If you have supporters.
Yeah,
Even years ago, before all that, I was selling tickets. I was selling tickets to go to the China Club. I don't know if you guys remember the China Club in New York City. It was a huge club. But every Sunday they would do like hip hop night. And the owner was like, you want a performance night? Here, sell these tickets and I'm gonna give you $5 off every ticket. And I would run around the whole month selling tickets to all my friends. I would force people to buy tickets. And it's good.
Yeah, like I don't even care if you show up, just buy the ticket.
Yeah, but it's good because I would make like $400 or $500 to go to a nightclub that I was going to anyway.
Yep.
And it shows the owner, all right, he has supporters because everybody pulled up to see me. So it was a good thing. And you build relationships like that. Like everything, it's going to cost money because this is a business. At the end of the day,
yeah, it's about making money.
The whole music industry is a business. I don't care. Everything in life is business.
Everything's a business.
When you die, it costs you money.
Yeah, for sure.
But very expensive. At the end of the day, you got to make money. Like, let's be honest, you got to make money.
Right, but as long as you're building relationships on the way up, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because like now I can go on my phone and call pretty much whoever I want.
But you were hustling for
100%,
years to build
100%.
up that, that phone book of where now you have the name where you say I can make 1 or 2 phone calls and I'm selling out a venue with some high top name guys
Mm-hmm.
and selling tickets to everybody. But you had to hustle for years and years and years. To
Were you
build
ever,
it up.
were you ever one day like, shit, is this ever going to be worth it? Like, am I doing this?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day, all the
I feel
time.
like if you're not thinking like that, you're not doing it, right?
But you have to have like that faith that something's gonna crack, something's gonna happen.
Sure.
And I've always heard the saying where if it's your dreams don't scare you, then you're not dreaming big
Right.
enough.
100%.
Like you should, like Eric said, you should have that. Like, well, like shit. What if this? Like this is kind of like I'm kind of scared. Like I'm afraid that if this doesn't work out, then what's going to happen?
I got no plan B.
It should scare you. Like
Right.
that means you're dreaming big enough where
It's worth it.
It's worth it. And if it doesn't scare you, then it doesn't mean
You gotta
nothing,
be.
You know,
You're gonna be nervous 90% of the journey.
that's the other thing
Something's
too.
gonna go. Kobe Bryant said, once you stop being once I stop being nervous before a game, I know I gotta retire.
Yeah.
Really? I never heard him say that.
Well,
before.
I see. It's funny.
Wow.
Every
I'm
single
great
game,
you
so before the game, I would
Yeah.
have butterflies. I would be nervous till tip off.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody.
But I'm
Yeah.
glad you said it because that was the other thing I
Wow.
was going to say is that a lot of people, they're afraid of the nerves. They're afraid to get nervous like before a game. Because I was a basketball player. I played sports all through college. And I would get like nervous, right? Like you get nerves before a game. But then once the tip, then it's like it kind of you get into the rhythm and it goes away. But the nerves before the game, just like Kobe Bryant said, is that means that you care about how you perform. You care about the game. You care about music. You care about whatever it is. Getting nervous, it's good. It mean the nerves are good. Embrace the nerves because it means you care. So to Kobe's point is, once he stops getting nervous,
he don't love the game
he
anymore.
Yeah,
doesn't love it anymore.
it's a great point, though.
She's like, I got to retire because now I don't care about it.
Because when was the last time you ever did something that you wanted to do and you weren't nervous about it?
Right.
That's never happened.
The only reason that
right?
you're nervous is because you care about the outcome. You care about how if you're getting stage fright, you care about your
Shit,
performance.
I had butterflies just doing the intro.
Right, which
and I was making sure I got everything
'cause
right.
You don't want to mess up. You
Yeah.
care about it. If you didn't care, then you'd be like, oh fuck it, I could just go up here. If I botch, who gives a shit?
Right.
But no, it means you care. That's
I've been
good.
on stage maybe 1,000 times.
Do you remember the first time you ever did it? Like, do you remember the feeling it was the first time?
The
stepping on
first
stage?
time was when I was renting the clubs out myself and just inviting everybody. So it's kind of like me performing for family and friends.
So what?
making
Okay, so
money,
maybe better.
thanking them for $1,000.
Maybe the better question is: do you remember the first time that it wasn't like that? You got booked and you had no idea who was.
I remember. I don't remember that, but I remember we were at Howard Theater in D.C. and that's like a famous, venue. And I didn't know there was curtains up, so I didn't know who I was going on right before the locks. I didn't know who was out there. It was like DJ playing a bunch of music, so you didn't really hear nothing. I was hearing echoes, so I kind of thought there wasn't too many people in the crowd. When you hear echoes in those venues,
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Empty,
a
little
light
bit.
crowd.
Yeah.
So I'm just standing there. The curtains open. This fucking place was so packed. It was holy shit. I looked. I told my boy, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on? You gotta perform."
How many people would you say were there? 10,000?
Whatever the venue holds. I forgot what the venue holds, but it was sold out. It was
What's the
fucking
venue
packed.
again? What's it called?
Howard Theater.
Howard Theater in
Damn.
DC.
Probably 2,000 or something,
Yeah,
or
let's see.
2,500 or something.
That's
Howard.
a shit ton of people.
Let's see, Howard Theater.
Now, do you
DC
was there ever a moment when it was like a realization when you were singing or rapping one of your songs and people were actually saying it back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened a lot. This last tour we just got off, that happened a lot. That makes me like
Validated a little
want to
bit.
keep going, and because a lot of times you'll get discouraged.
Yeah, like 1,500. So it says like the seated is 650, and then there's an additional 800 of so 1,500 people.
that was years ago. Like
That's a
That
lot.
could be, that could be more. Yeah,
now, it's like we're doing venues with like 4,000, 5,000, 3,000.
but still,
I
like
did
that's a lot of
Germany.
people, man.
I
That's
did
a lot
a
of people.
festival in Germany. It was like 15,000 people in a field.
Even 100 people. Like, because we were talking about with Tony Peck, who we met.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Right,
yeah.
Tony. He says he does a lot of social media stuff with people, and he goes, "Listen, don't worry about how many likes or followers you get. Like, if you could post a picture and you get 100 likes, that's 100 people." He said, "Would you feel comfortable going up in front of 100 people in an auditorium and giving a speech?" And people are like, "No, I'd be terrified." So that's just 100.
Right.
So imagine 1,000,
Right.
1,500, 2,000, 5,000. Like, so 1,000 people in a venue. That's a lot of fucking people.
And I come from performing for 20 people. I used to perform for 20, 30 people. I used to be like the first act. The Locks would still be in their hotel. Like the first tours, I would go on like
now.
20 minutes after the door opens.
Damn.
No, it'd be me, the DJ. DJ would be like, all right, it's kind of like rehearsal. I'm like, all right. And just go out there and perform. And then little by little, as the years went on,
And now
I
it's
started getting,
traveling the world doing 10,000.
I feel like
It's
when
crazy,
you're first
man.
starting out, like when you're performing in front of like 20, 30 people, you have to have some kind of mental capacity to know, like you said, this is going to be going somewhere. Because you got to start somewhere, right?
Right.
You got to, Matt Ryan said from the Falcons one time, you got to embrace the suck. Everyone's got to embrace the suck
Oh,
at
yeah.
one point. We all suck at whatever we do, we're not going to be good at
Did you
it.
ever see
until
our
we keep
first?
trying.
Did you ever see our first episode?
Yeah, bro, we fucking
Yeah.
sucked.
Fucking terrible.
Oh,
dude.
my God. Forget
No,
it.
we'll show it to you off camera. First episode is none of this shit's here. It's
We're up to almost 300 episodes
There's
now.
this wall back here is that white color, right? Nothing back here. It's all white. There's 2 chairs and a little coffee table. And there's no, like, we're using an old iPhone 4 camera and no mics. We just have like one little USB mic and the 2 of us. The audio is terrible. The video is terrible. There's no lighting. There's no nothing. There's just 2 chairs
No
and an empty
personality.
but
room.
you ever see all the other podcasts?
Yeah, of course.
They're the same
Yeah,
way.
same way.
Oh, got to start somewhere.
It was like that for the first 15
Drink
20
Champs was like that. Drink Champs came to the D Block studio to do like their first episode with the Locks with nothing. They used the D Block studio as a setup, put some cameras, and just started talking.
The hardest thing is just to get started and figuring out as you go.
You just hit record, man. See what happens.
So, I mean,
We've
to
been
go
doing it
back
over
to
and over and over again.
what I was
Yeah.
saying, but I feel like you have to have some kind of mental strength to know that you're out on a stage being vulnerable in front of a group of people saying, you know, this isn't a huge crowd, but I'm going to do the best I can
Right.
to get where I want to be in front of thousands of people.
I remember because we used to book this place, Toad's Place. It holds 1,000 people. It's like a monumental place in New Haven, Connecticut. It's everyone you could think of performed there, from Ozzy Osbourne to Metallica to Cardi B, everybody.
Wow.
So, Wiz Khalifa used to go there and perform for like, I think $1,000. $1,000 and a couple hundred people would show up or whatever. He was, independent artist. They booked him one year. I think they gave him like $1,100 or $1,200. The next year, he was doing arenas for $100,000 a show.
In 1 year, he went.
In 1 year,
Fucking
the Black
nuts.
and Yellow dropped,
Yeah.
and
And then
then
the rest is history.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I even watched French Montana come to Connecticut, and because that's where everybody was showing him love in Connecticut more than New York. And he would be on all Big Mike's mixtapes, and him and Max B and everything. And he would come out, and there would be 20, 30 people in the club. Then it got to the point where
20,000 in the club.
now you need 150,000, 200,000 to book them. So I've watched all of those artists. So
Yeah, it gives you something to get
you know what?
motivated for.
right.
It's just you got to just like you said, embrace the suck and just embrace the process. You just keep doing it because like you said, if it doesn't scare you, then it's not big enough. And okay, yeah, it's 20 people now. So, but next year it's gonna be 200, and the year after that it's gonna be 2,000, and the year after that it's gonna be 20,000.
Exactly.
And next thing you know, here you are, 15, 20 years later, and you're going to Germany booking 10,000.
Doing shows with Ricky
Yeah,
Rose,
yeah,
Rick Ross.
It's
I got booked in Italy with Ross. Never even met him. Got booked. I met him one time before that at some festival we did in Chicago, and he didn't remember me. Obviously, we did a show. I got off stage. He called me over. He's like, "Yo," he gave me a 5. "Yo, what's going on? Now you killed it. This, and that." He said, "Yo, send over those records. I'm gonna jump on one of the songs and send it back to you." Out of nowhere.
Hell yeah.
This
And
guy,
you're like,
this
what?
is a guy who's charging 50,000 for
yeah.
a song. He's telling. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, thank you. I didn't even believe it.
I was gonna say, did you send your best record? Did you send?
He wanted the song that I performed. I
Okay.
had a record called Love. It's me, Benny the Butcher, Chic Luch, Jadakiss. Kiss is on the hook, so I only play Kiss's hook, and then I do my verse. He heard that record. And I did another record after that. And he was like, "Yo, send me those records. I'm going to jump on the record, this and that. You killed that shit." I'm like, "All right, thank you." Go back to my section. He sends over 3 bottles of Bel Air to my section. Now I'm just hanging out, having hookah, drinking, checking Instagram. He posted me on his story. Didn't even tag me, just posted me. And I'm like, "Oh,
You're like, what the fuck's going on
yeah."
right now?
And then
That was like your most recent tour you just said you got back from? Or this
That
That was
was-
the Italy tour.
that was no, we had a tour, and then we had a week off from the tour, and My brother booked the show in Italy for me, and Ross was on the bill. So this had nothing to do with the tour.
Gotcha.
It was just me
It was just
and Ross.
extra.
And we get out there. Of course, the food is insane.
Yeah.
So we're hanging out, this, that. The day of the show, the promoters, everything was like, it was unorganized. It was a lot going on for Ross because Ross needs 50 bottles.
Yeah.
He needs
Yeah,
a lot.
I want a black, or black Escalade, temperature 71 degree,
so
like
so
everything's
when it was
gotta
time
be-
for me to perform, they weren't ready, the promoters. So I was upset. I was like, you know what? Fuck all that. I'm just going back to my section, have hookah, drink. I'm chilling. I'm
Yeah.
not even performing. My DJ gets up there, technician, the DJ, shout out to him, starts spinning, going crazy. He starts yelling at the mic for me to go up there. And I'm telling my brother, yo, I'm not going. He tells Tech starts cursing now. Get the fuck up here. We didn't fly this long for nothing. I'm like, you know what?
You're
Let's
like,
go up there.
shit,
But
all
Ross is already in the building.
Yeah.
So he's.
Did you know that Ross was in the building?
I knew, and that's what kind of, it didn't discourage me, but I didn't want to, all the attention shifted to Ross. He came in with 50 deep, everybody going crazy. So now I'm like, I'm going to go up there. They're like, who the fuck is this? They're here to watch Ross. But we went up there.
Good thing you did, though. Yeah.
We killed it. I had the whole crowd. I had the Love record. I have everybody putting their hands wave side to side for the hook. I turn around. Ross has his hands going side. I was like, oh, shit, all right. I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
I turn back around and finish performing, get off stage. He's like, yo, you killed that. He's like, send me those records. I'm going to jump on one of them. I was like, oh, shit. And lo and behold, a month later, they sent the record to me.
I was going to say, when you sent it, were you like, part of you was probably like, he's not going to send some shit back, right?
I know a lot of people that were around him. I know his DJ, shout out to Scram Jones. I know his boy Ren, shout out to Ren, that's my man. I actually hit him up because I couldn't get him the record. He was like, yo, just call my manager or email my manager. I couldn't get to his manager. There was 5,000 people in the way. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
So I hit my boy Ren up a couple weeks later after everything else failed. Ren was like, all right, no problem. Put me in a group chat with his manager in like 1 second. And his manager's like, Ross told you that? I was like, yeah. He's all right, send the record.
So it went so much smoother than you probably thought it was
Sent
going to.
it,
Yeah.
and
Like,
then,
what the fuck's happening right now?
and then
This is-
out of nowhere, like a week later, the Locks get booked in Philly and Ross is on the same bill. So I was like, all right, this is the moment.
Yeah.
And there was like 30 artists on the bill. Everyone's dressing room was like all around the arena. Ross's dressing room happened to be directly next door to the Locks dressing room. I was like, yo, this is a sign from God. So we get off stage. We're walking towards the dressing room. I see Kiss walk into Ross's dressing room. I go to follow him. Security closed the door. Security guy's like 7'6".
Yeah.
He's like, nobody's coming in. I was like, all right, no problem. I'm not even going to argue. Tell him Ross wants to do a song. I'm not even going to do all that.
Yeah.
I go into the Locks dressing room. The door opens. His manager comes out. Yo, who's Tony Moxberg? I'm like, yo, what's going on? He's like, come in. Go in the room. He's like, yo, Ross is going to do the song for you. I was like, all right, thank you. He was talking to Kiss, so I was like, you know what? Can I thank him? You know, after he's like, yeah, just chill here. Kiss turns around, sees me. Kiss starts telling Ross, yo, you got to do the song with him. You promised him a feature. This is our brother right here. It's our baby brother. He comes on tour with us. And Ross is like, yo, I was doing the song regardless. He was like, he was killing it in Italy. This and that. I was asking everybody I was with, like, yo, who is this kid? So he told.
So Kiss kind of gave just that little extra.
Yeah, the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So Kiss is like, yo, please, whatever it's going to take. And he's like, yo, I'm doing the song already. He said, but you telling me this, now it's definitely happening. And maybe like a week after that, I'm in the cafe having an espresso. His manager, yo, check your email. Check it, record with Ross. I'm like, holy
He did it in a week?
Within a week, he sent the record over. I was like, that's fucking nuts. And then I'm like, trying to
Sitting
figure
there
out.
in Italy with an espresso.
No,
like,
I was back. I was back home.
you back home?
Yeah, I was
okay.
back home. for that.
Okay.
But then I'm trying to figure out, all right, now I want to do the video, but I don't want to do too much. I don't want to start asking this guy. They hit me up the next day like, yo, you want to shoot the video? Ross is around for one more day. But we weren't ready. I didn't know where Kiss was. I didn't have because I wanted to change my verse for the remix. I didn't have the verse ready. So we left it at that. He was like, yo, next time we're in New York, just call us this and that. I'll let you know. I'll give us a schedule, and we'll just go from there. So like they're super super dope. Shout out to Ross, shout out to Jeter, Ren, the whole Maybach.
That's
That's
crazy.
I mean, that's a hell of a story.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because like I imagine, you know, the guys say, hey, I'm gonna do a record with you, and you said, oh, all right,
Yeah, then the next thing is like, all right, we just need $100,000.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You know, this
Just
part
wire
of
me some money real
you
quick.
you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? You want to put your trust in a lot of people, and majority of people are good people, right? It's just like there's that little part of you like, all right,
I've been bullshitted so much.
You know, especially from New York, right? We're from New York. Like, let's be honest. You know, there's a lot of bullshit. So you kind of like a little piece of you, and then for it to happen so much smoother than you thought, you're like, wow, this is.
Yeah, when
is
someone
this,
actually
like pinch me, is this even
pulls
is this
through
real?
what they actually say, you're like, oh shit, because like you said, we're so used to one ear and out the other. People talk a lot of shit.
Empty
about
promises.
It's called party talk.
Yeah.
We call it in the industry.
That's
when
good,
you're at a party.
That's a good time.
Everyone just telling you.
Yeah, bro, let's meet up. Yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, we'll do this.
It's party talk.
Yeah.
But something told me when he told me that, something told me he was gonna do it. Like he sounded like genuine, and he had
when you turned around and he's got his hands like
Yeah.
this, you're like, he
But
genuinely.
you also have to think, why would
likes
he just say that? He
exactly.
wouldn't just say that
he
for no
has
reason.
nothing like to gain from it.
Yeah.
it. Right?
So,
He could go at anybody.
I just feel like he genuinely liked me and liked the song and liked just his hook on it, and we put it together. So
That's amazing. Damn, I love that.
So I want to hear. So let's go. Let's take it even further back. Right? We're talking about. You know, you said when you were younger, you were never thinking about becoming a rapper professionally, right? You kind of just fucked around with it a little bit, and you did some freestyles here in the schoolyard, whatever. But you never thought that it was going to be a thing that you would do for the rest of your life. At what point did it start to become like, hey, I could probably turn this into something? I know you said you started like booking, but before that, it had to be a point like to want to book stuff. We had to say, you know what, this could actually, like, I'm good at this. 1, 2, I enjoy this, and 3, like, this could be a real thing.
just like fans on social media would always, oh, when's your next song dropping? When is this? Oh, we're waiting for this. We're waiting for. Oh, you killed that song. Like,
so you were just releasing some songs for fun,
just dropping like record after record after record, shooting different videos, different. This is like kind of like
just for fun,
very early in social media.
Yeah.
And
well, I'm sure it was the community behind it because Yonkers is the 5th borough. That's what they say. Yonkers is the 5th borough. So
the 6th borough.
The 6th borough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, the 6th borough, not the 5th borough. Yeah. The 6th borough. So Yonkers is known for a lot of hip hop artists. So I'm sure getting that validation of them wanting you, the community wanting you to do more.
That and the Locks showing me love.
Did you grow up with them?
They grew up with my older brother.
Okay.
Like went to school with my older brother.
Oh, so is that why they called you their baby brother, kind of?
Yeah. But I built that relationship with them over like years and years to the point like we're family. We go on family vacations together every year. Like we're on the phone with each other every single day. We're in the studio a couple days a week with each other.
So you guys are family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So knowing that, like, why would they want to, fuck with me? I'm not doing it. I'm not bringing really nothing to the table. I'm just making music.
Yeah.
So that like.
You're just doing it because you enjoy doing it. Like,
so that made me think, oh, all right, I could do this. These are like, to me, they're like the best group ever.
Yeah,
especially if you're in Yonkers or you're in Westchester.
Yeah,
they're the best ever, hands down.
So you got some validation from people that were already doing it, already well known,
right?
successful,
very successful,
and they're riding with you, and so you're like, well, shit. If they think that I can do it, then maybe I got something here.
Right? I gotta believe in myself.
Yeah, like these guys are successful. Very successful, well known, famous, and you're like, and they're putting their faith in you. So you're like, well, shit, maybe I got something here.
And I would do everything, even like from the first tour, I would pay for everything out of my pocket, do everything myself. Never really bothered them.
Yeah, you just be like, listen, I just want to get on stage for a couple minutes.
Little by little, I remember there was like a few years in a row. Every birthday, Styles would call me. Oh, happy birthday! It's that. Bring a beat to the studio. And he would do a song for me on my birthday. He'd give me a free verse.
Were you making your own beats in the beginning?
Nah.
Or were you buying?
I would have just different producers would like reach out to us, reach out to my brother, and just send over beats. We kind of pick which beats we like.
Yeah.
And go from there. And then you do the splits and everything, and
yeah.
We just go from there. And then I just figure out what beat styles would sound good on. I would send him a couple beats, and he'd be like, "All right, I'm gonna fuck with this one." I pull up to the studio, his verse would be already done. I'm like, holy shit, it was like less than an hour ago. So
It's amazing how some people their brains work that fast.
I've watched him go to sleep, wake up, and have my verse. I swear to God.
How do you like how long does it usually take for like for you to write a verse? Like you get the beat, you have no idea what you're gonna say. You get the beat, and
It could take me an hour, sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes 2 days. Sometimes I'll write at home while having a hookah and stuff. Write a couple bars, get tired, go to sleep, or nothing's coming to my mind. I would go do something else. Then little by little, oh shit, I have 4 songs done. I gotta go to the studio, record these records. Then there's sometimes I'm in the studio and I'll just start from scratch. And an hour later, I have the whole song done.
You ever get writer's block?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, shit, I nothing's coming.
Just 1,000 times before.
You're just like,
I feel like
nothing's
that's-
working
yeah.
right now.
I feel like that's just the name of
Or
it.
like
like-
you're putting some stuff on paper, you're like, this is just trash. We're like, nothing's coming. Like,
I feel like that happens in every profession.
Sure.
of course.
To where you're stagnant a little, or you
What do you do for that?
just leave it alone.
Just take a step back.
I leave it alone.
Yeah.
Forget all about it. I don't want no beats. I don't want nothing from nobody.
How long do you take? How long do you give yourself? Like a week or something?
It'll just
What,
come to me out of nowhere.
Yeah, I
It'll
got
just
you.
They're just like, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm just going to push that aside. I'm going to do something else. And whenever it pops back in, maybe
and something will pop in my mind. I'll start playing a beat. I'll write a whole song. Well, all right, that was fast.
Yeah.
And done. Now I'm back in in the swing of things.
Have you ever done like just straight freestyle on a track?
Nah.
No, everything's like because I've seen some freestyles. We talked about there's sway in the morning. There's what's the other one you mentioned before?
What's that?
Well, you were on the Gorilla Nems one.
Disrespect Radio. Shout out
Disrespect
to Nems.
Radio. There was another one I think that you mentioned, but there's a bunch of the freestyle
Those
ones.
are all-
106
those
in
are
Park,
all-
the basement, I think.
Like-
Those are all written.
Yeah, so I
advance.
was going to ask you that because there's like technically a freestyle
Right.
should be
changed-
off the dome.
Over
right?
time, they changed what the definition of a freestyle is.
Yeah.
Now it's like
Like you may have written it at a previous time.
now it's like a verse with no hook. They consider it a freestyle. Before, back in the days, it was like off the head.
freestyles off the
whatever
head,
you
yeah.
could come up with.
Like Lil Wayne, The Drought too.
like just off. Yeah.
I don't know if you ever listened to that
course I've
mixtape,
listened, yeah.
but I mean, I think that was all freestyle what Lil Wayne did. You've heard that mixtape before, right?
Yeah.
Right?
But even with Wayne, he just doesn't write. So
So he
he'll-
might
Yeah, it's
have
on
it.
his head.
Yeah.
he puts it. That's what Styles does, and I've even watched Kiss do it. But Styles, that's what he's known for. Like you going to the studio with Styles, he'll be walking around, no phone, no nothing, laying down, smoking blunt.
He
after
just
blunt
has
after
it. He's
blunt.
just got like
everything's going on in his head.
Rolodex in his.
And then
yeah.
he'll go in the booth and lay it.
Someone just have that like,
Styles P-
photographic memory where they just like they'll write it
Mhm.
once or
Jay-Z
whatever and
does
then
it.
just got it.
Styles does it. I've seen Kiss do it a few times. Wayne does it. Wayne does it to where like he'll do like 4 bars from what I've watched. He'll do like 4 bars, come back out, start thinking of whatever, go back in, do another 4 or 8 bars or whatever, come back out, and
There's that one video where they were playing back his lyrics. He's like, "Who wrote that?" He's like, "You wrote that." He's like, "Oh shit, I wrote
Yeah,
that."
I know. I
Holy
know.
shit."
No, I know the one you're talking
that's
about.
when you've recorded too much.
Yeah,
You don't even know what.
Yeah, that's
what's
the
his
line where
anymore.
he said, "You don't want that late text. The I think I'm late text.
Right.
Better wear a late text
Right.
because I think I'm
Better practice safe sex.
safe sex because you don't want that late text. The I think I'm late text. Better wear late text. Something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, you remember you wrote that? He's like, I wrote that.
He's like,
He's like, I'm a dog. I'm a dog. I remember that.
But
I mean, think about it though. When you've got that many songs, that many records,
Listen, Lil
you're
Wayne was
not
that
going to
guy,
remember every single
Right.
thing. That you
Lil
wrote.
Wayne was on every song on the radio. I
Yeah.
remember he was on
He
every.
was at
fucking
one point.
song.
He was yeah.
fucking
He
everything.
did like 200 features in 1 year.
It was like between like 05 and 08. It was like
200
everywhere.
features, dude. That's 4 a week. No,
And that's not even his songs, his albums, nothing.
That's
That's
4
just
a
for
week.
other
Yeah.
people.
It's
Yeah.
every other
200
day
features.
you're on a new record. Every other day.
Yeah,
Bang, bang,
no
bang,
doubt. But I mean, Styles P is on one of the first songs I ever illegally downloaded off of LimeWire. It's still one of my favorite songs today.
Wait, you illegally downloaded songs off the internet?
Yeah, I'll admit to it. I think we all. But back in the day, LimeWire, I got my first computer, and
LimeWire?
Yeah, it was. I remember in 8th grade.
Were you a
it was,
Napster guy too?
No,
Or no?
fucking Napster. It was LimeWire all day.
LimeWire.
And then it was FrostWire after LimeWire
Yeah,
got
you ever
crushed.
download the tracks on LimeWire and then you go to play it and like it's
was
not
built-
that track.
Yeah,
It's some
yeah.
shit. Like delete it. Fucking
No, it was always Bill Clinton. There
for
was,
my computer. Or
it
no,
was-
you know what was the other one? You always got Rick rolled. You download a song,
Oh, yeah,
and it
yeah,
comes
yeah,
never
yeah.
gonna give you, and you get that shit
Crazy.
happen like
Nuts.
every other song you downloaded. Because there was a time, there was like 2 years where that's ever. You go to a music video, you're like, oh, it's the new music video, something that just dropped. Oh, it just released. You double click it, you watch it, and it's fucking Rick Astley.
What was the
with
point of that though?
I don't know.
Like
It was just someone
I
saying
don't
"fuck
know.
you."
people pranking you or
I
something?
Yeah,
don't know,
essentially,
but it
yeah.
happened all the time. There was like 2 years where it's all
It got to a point where I downloaded so much music, I could tell what files were actually like those bullshit files and then actual real files. But the point of my saying was one of the first songs I ever downloaded was Locked Up with Akon and Styles P. And I think that was my very first introduction to Styles P. And still one of my favorite songs today. But
That's dope.
it's wild how things have come full circle.
You know, Akon waited for Styles to get out of jail for that verse.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He waited. He wanted
Because
he
Akon
had,
was from Jersey, right? So
yeah, Jersey City.
yeah, okay.
He had a few, I guess, different options for features, and I don't know, him or his camp, somebody was like, "Yo, we need Styles on it." They reached out. Styles was
crazy.
locked up,
That's crazy.
and he had like I don't know how much longer of his bid, and Akon and them waited.
So
They
it
waited
did.
for
So was that song about?
No, he had the record. He had the record. He just didn't know. I don't think it was. I don't know if it was out already and wasn't getting traction or whatever the case.
Because I
may
think
be.
Akon had Locked Up, and then I think it's the Locked Up remix with Styles P.
Yeah. So like the record wasn't catching, and they were like, "Yo, we got to put a rapper on it," and he wanted Styles. Styles happened to be locked up at the time.
Locked Up, they won't let me out.
They were like, "All right, we're gonna wait." He had like a couple of months
It's
left,
kind of fun how it's like he was locked up and he's
Yeah.
getting on the locked up right.
and
Yeah.
then
Perfect time.
yeah, perfect fit for the record.
Have you ever heard Akon sing normal like without? Because he came around with auto tune was like a big. No, I'm sorry, not Akon.
T-Pain.
I'm thinking T-Pain. Yeah, I'm thinking of T-Pain.
T-Pain is
Yeah.
You ever seen
incredible.
T-Pain?
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not Akon. T-Pain when he came because with the auto tune, right?
Right.
You know, you make more money with the in these type of tracks instead of singing like
Talking about another
soulful.
person that was everywhere. T-Pain was everywhere.
But yeah, he's got a voice.
Yeah.
that guy.
Incredible.
Yeah, he's got a voice.
That's
He sang Chris Stapleton's Tennessee Whiskey, the country
Insane.
artist, and it's like,
He had a whole album.
man, I'm looking. I was like, who? This is T-Pain?
He had a whole album doing
Yeah.
covers, and killed.
Yeah,
it.
it's unbelievable.
Killed
It's
no
unbelievable.
auto tune.
I was like, you should just come back now and start doing like country records or something. Because, so a question I have for you is growing up. Obviously, the Locks being, your older brothers. You were rolling with them for a while. Besides them, who were some of your biggest inspirations that you listened to growing up?
It would be. I know it's generic, but
That's
Jay-Z, Nas,
yeah, that's my
like
favorite.
that's
Yeah.
That's his.
that's like the. I put them in like. They're not even like in the top 5. They're like by themselves
Yeah,
somewhere.
themselves.
Most definitely.
Then there's like a top 5. So
That's a good way of putting it.
it's people like them.
Yeah, it's like they're up here and like okay, now everybody else. Is,
It's like in the NBA. Oh, who's the best? I put Michael Jordan where nobody could touch him.
Yeah.
And then Kobe, LeBron, and whoever else you want to put in there. But there's zero comparison to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's tough because everybody wants to compare LeBron with Michael, and I'm like, they're not the same. Like Kobe was more like Michael.
Right.
Most
Kobe
definitely.
played like Michael, where Kobe was like, I'm not passing for shit. Okay, I'm scoring. LeBron is more like a Magic, where he's like, I'm a facilitator. I'm gonna go out and probably get 25, 9, and 9. Jordan's, I'm gonna get 50, 5 and 5.
I think LeBron is the most fundamentally sound basketball player ever.
Yeah, LeBron
He's
is
like
like
a
the
genius. He could read the court.
LeBron. Yeah.
But people like Kobe, they had like the killer instinct.
That's the biggest thing.
Kobe's like-
Yeah, because it's. I always say like, listen,
Kobe had the killer.
Here's the thing: is like, yeah,
instinct.
Kobe, like Michael had
And
the
Michael Jordan,
Michael
definitely.
Jordan had, like, he had the killer instinct where it's like he steps on the floor, people were afraid of him. Like, don't look him in the eye, that type of thing. Like, if you like, he would make. If you ever watched The Last Dance, you watched
Yeah,
The
of
Last Dance, right?
course.
He would make up stories in his head. about what, like, if you were guarding me, he would make up a story that you said some shit
there's a
about
story
my
about
family,
Michael Jordan when they
and
were
then
on
he
the
would go
Olympic
out
team.
and drop 50 on you in one half, and you'd be like, oh, what did he say to you? But yeah, he never said that. I just made that shit up.
There's a
That's
story
crazy.
with Michael Jordan. I forgot what year, but it was like the Olympic or the All-Star game, and they were in Puerto Rico, and they were playing Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, and whoever. They played 18 rounds of golf.
Yeah.
And they went home, and then Michael's like, I'm going to play another 18 rounds. I'm like, what do we got a game like? He's like, I'll be all right. And they go.
He
plays
played
another 18.
36, and then he yeah.
Not only that, the guy, they're like, all right, Michael, you got this guy, you got this guy. And Michael's like, no, I want the point guard. And they're like, what? Why don't you want? He's like, no, I want this guy. And they're like, well, why? He's like, because he was saying some bullshit about me in the newspaper. And I want to tell him, never talk about me ever again. And he's fucking killed him.
You know what he would do? Speaking of cigars, there's a famous story. He would go into, I think he was playing. Who was he playing? Was it the Pistons? It was a playoff game, and he went into the opposing team's locker room before the game with a lit cigar. Before the game, like before they're going out, right? Not like hours before, like before they're going out. Lit cigar, walks into the opposing team's locker room before a playoff game, smoking a cigar, takes a puff, looks around and goes, who's checking me tonight? And all the guys look at the one guy who's guarding him. Mike looks at him and goes, 50, and walks out. And he dropped 55 that night.
Incredible.
Like, no offense to LeBron, but he's not doing that.
No, he doesn't got that
But
killer
on
on
LeBron's defense, if you are building a basketball player in a lab, you build LeBron.
Well, of course.
6'8", 265, runs like a gazelle, jumps like a fucking kangaroo, has like a four flat 40. Like, it fills up the stat sheet. Like, that's who you're building, okay? And everybody wants to say that now. They go, oh, you know, LeBron's not the best player in the league. I'm like, okay, hold on a second. If you're a manager and let's say we're schoolyard basketball and you got all the players, everybody's lined up on the baseline, and you get to pick first, who are you picking? I'm picking fucking LeBron. Okay, I'm sorry. I know he's 39 years old. I'm picking LeBron. Okay, because like you said, the knowledge, he does everything. Like, I'm picking him. Okay, he can guard all 5 positions. He can play all 5 positions. Like, I'm picking that guy. And if you don't, you're probably an idiot. Like,
that's why I think you could compare him to Magic, because Magic did the same.
That's what I say. Magic did that.
Every position.
Magic did that.
He would average almost a triple. No, Jordan had just. Did you ever hear or see when Nick Anderson stripped him before the it was like 10 seconds left? They were playing Orlando.
Yeah,
that's when he was wearing number 45.
Yes.
And Nick Anderson stole the ball, and the buzzer sounded, and he went up to Mike and was like,
he said 45.
23 isn't 45. 45 isn't number 23.
Yep.
The next day,
they announced him as 45 too.
He comes out, takes his jacket off. He's wearing number 23, and nobody on Orlando knows that Nick Anderson was talking shit to him. They're just playing the game. Like, why is he wearing it? They're winning the game or whatever. He gets to the free throw line. He shoots the first one, makes it. He misses the second one on purpose. Like, you could tell.
Missed it.
So they're all trying to figure out why he missed it on purpose. He points at the scoreboard. He put 45 points up.
Yeah, he goes, look at the score. He's got 45.
45. Killed Nick Anderson.
But that's what I'm saying. You know the other one where he shot with his eyes closed?
Yeah.
Shot a free throw with his eyes closed? Because he shot the first one, right? He shot the first one, and somebody was talking shit. Like, Mike, you wouldn't do it with your eyes closed. He goes, oh, yeah? Eyes closed. Nothing in net.
All net.
Like, he goes, how much you want to make this? How much you want to bet you make this? He's like, you won't do it. He's like, yeah, watch. Eyes closed. It just, you're not doing, like, LeBron's not doing that. But, you know, LeBron is, like, you got to put longevity into the, you know, LeBron's been doing 25, 8, and 8.
For 20 years.
Fucking ever.
I've been hearing about LeBron James since I was in 6th grade, and he's still playing in the freaking league.
Want to hear here's another crazy stat, which is like, I don't know if this is ever going to be touched again, is LeBron's consecutive 10-point plus. I don't know if you've ever heard of this.
It's still going now.
It's still going on. LeBron has scored 10 points in every single basketball game since 2007.
Yeah.
It's like 1,600 consecutive games. And the other day, it was close because he had like 2 points at halftime. And he wound up finishing with 13. But he's got like 1,600 games. The next closest is maybe 500.
Yeah, insane.
Wow. Which is a crazy stat.
Yeah.
So he's been scoring 10 points minimum for what? 18
and
years.
and he has the most ever points, right? Regular season.
Yeah,
and
he's got
playoffs.
the most. He's
He
got
had
the most.
50,000 or something.
Yeah, he's
Damn.
still going. But
Unbelievable.
I mean, we could talk about basketball. Too.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Tony. For someone who doesn't know Yonkers, for someone who doesn't know where it is or what type of city it is, how would you? You're in Italy, right? And they're like, what's Yonkers like? How would you explain what Yonkers is like?
Nothing like Italy.
I was just gonna say, people in Italy are not giving a shit what Yonkers is
Yeah.
like. Okay.
But the crazy thing is, a lot of them are intrigued. A lot of people in Italy or like wherever you go that haven't really left there,
Yeah, they're
they're very interested. Even like New York.
I was just gonna say New York in general.
Like when I'm down south, oh, you're from New York, and they go crazy.
All the
They
time.
oh, where's your accent? I'm like, what accent? Oh, you got a New York accent. They love New York everywhere.
They do.
Yeah.
But I
But,
always tell people too. I'm like, listen, there's two sides to New York. There's downstate New York, like Manhattan and the 5 boroughs, and Yonkers, Long Island. I was like, but then there's like north, like way
Upstate.
upstate,
Mhm.
and I'm like, upstate is totally different than
Right.
So like I always say, there's New York is great because there's two sides of it. You can get the concrete jungle, you can get the city life, okay, with his trains and it smells like shit all the time. Like you can get that,
Or you get the countryside.
or you can go way up and there's lakes and mountains and all that stuff.
I hate when they say Yonkers is upstate.
no.
That drives me crazy.
Nah,
I'm
nah,
like, I'm 8 minutes from the Bronx.
Yeah,
No
you're
doubt.
closer to Manhattan than I am.
Yeah, it's like the craziest.
you're
So
shit.
being from Long Island, my wife's from Westchester, but when we were first getting together, I'm like, oh, you're upstate, and she would get pissed, and I'm like, you're above the bridge. There's no such thing. And
Nah,
since
if I
moved
can't see
there,
a mountain, you're not upstate.
I'm the
man.
same way. Like all my friends on Long Island, they're like, oh, you going upstate tonight? I'm like, bro, it's not motherfucking upstate. I
If
get
you
into
could-
Manhattan in 25 minutes.
Right.
It takes you an hour and a half.
Right.
If you could
It's
take a
crazy.
train, you're not upstate. Let me put it that way. If you
Yeah.
could take a train, you'd be in the city in an hour,
Yeah.
you're not upstate.
Yeah.
Okay, once you get to like the Catskills, you're upstate.
Right.
No.
Okay,
But
now-
not even, it takes us 20, 25 minutes from Yonkers to get to the city.
Yeah.
20, so you don't even, like, just in the car. No
Takes me
train,
an
no
hour.
nothing.
Yeah.
It takes from here to get to the sea hour.
I'll tell you a
Easily.
funny story. I wanted to hear what you had to say about describing Yonkers,
yeah,
but
yeah. We go off on tangents.
my
This is
buddy
how-
had a bachelor party in Pennsylvania once, and they're from out here, and he brought his little brother who has never been off of Long Island, and I remember we had
He's
it.
never been off of.
He's traveled like on an airplane, but he's never actually traveled like in the He has, but like he's not exposed to it because apparently from what he said, because we had to go to like Lake Harmony, like the Poconos, so it ended up taking us through the Whitestone and over into the Tappan Zee Bridge instead of across the George W. So we go through the Bronx at one point, and he's like, where was it? I forgot what road it was in the Bronx, but you see the guys at the light and the wheelchairs, and
BQE, the worst.
he
road
was
on the
just so
planet.
like, where is this? Are we in New York? Where are we? I'm like, bro, you are not that. I'm like, you can't be that far removed. Like, this is the Bronx. You don't know where you are. I'm like, you that far secluded? And he's like, no, I had no idea. I never knew. This was. I'm like, all right, bro. Just
crazy.
forget about it.
It's like
forget
taking,
about
it's
it.
like taking people to Manhattan for the first time, and it's like they because I have family that's from Texas, and my wife's from Texas, so my in-laws are all from Texas, and then my wife has got friends from like California and other regions that come to visit from Colorado, so they come over to visit, and some of them have never seen Manhattan, so we take them into Manhattan. And at the time we were taking the train. Now I don't take the train because I hate the train. I just Uber me to wherever I need to go.
Right.
I don't care what it costs. Just drop me off at the place so I can go wherever I'm going. But we'll take the train in, and when you take the train, you get a glimpse of Manhattan, but you go under, right? You pop out in Penn Station. Then when you come out of Penn Station, you're right there.
Yeah.
And the look on their face when they come out, because they assume that Manhattan's big, but they don't really know how
Right.
big. Like for instance, if you come from Austin, Texas, where my wife is from, Austin, Texas is only like maybe 10 blocks wide, 10 blocks, And I say, what you think downtown Austin is, you can fit 5 of them in
Easy.
Central Park alone.
Right.
All right, because Central Park is like 100 blocks. So I'm like, and that's just Central Park. Manhattan is like three Central Parks and then like 25 blocks wide. So they get out and they look up like this. And they go, in their face,
Can't
they
believe it.
have no idea.
Yeah.
And then they see the Empire State Building and they see all these things. They're like, what the? It's like mind blowing.
Yeah.
But they're not.
You like Austin, Texas?
I do.
I love it.
I like Austin, Texas.
It's a fun town.
I love
It's
it.
a fun party town.
We
I
perform almost every single year for South by Southwest.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We perform there.
Oh, you do?
We
My wife
skipped this
loves South by Southwest.
because we had a tour that went to Austin. So we did Austin, Dallas, and Houston. So
What,
we
are you
did
doing the
South
next
by-
one?
We just got off tour a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
are you doing the next South by Southwest?
It just finished.
Yeah, because my wife wanted to go with that, but we just had our son.
All right.
My wife, she
Congrats.
loves South by. She's like, I want to go back so bad.
It's
And
so
we just
dope.
had our first child, so it's like we couldn't do it. But when is it next
It's
year?
it's every year, I believe, in March.
So are
So
you
we
going to
were
be doing
just
next
there,
year?
Probably, but we just finished touring over there. We just finished. We did, like I said, Austin, Dallas, and Houston. So we skipped South by Southwest. But next year we'll probably do it. We did it like 5 years in a row.
You should let me, because we want to go. And if you're there,
You're more than welcome.
I would love to.
The
Because
food's
I love
fucking insane.
I love
over there.
Texas. I love everything about
So let
Texas.
me
Okay.
rephrase the question here.
Maybe
So
we'll meet up next time we go
so
down. Yeah, for
100%.
sure.
maybe it's not someone in Italy. Maybe we're in, let's say we're in...
We're in Texas.
We're in
We're in Texas, and people are asking what's
El
Yonkers
Segundo,
like.
Texas, right? El Segundo, Texas. And they say, Tony, what is Yonkers like? What? How do you explain it that?
Not like Texas.
It ain't like this motherfucking place.
It's not what a lot of people think. A lot of people think it's upstate. It's not upstate.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, but I feel like a lot of people have to kind of get out. And that's like a big mistake. Everybody kind of gets stuck in Yonkers, gets comfortable there, and stays there. Even like musically, like I had like the opportunities to move around and see different parts of the world with the music and different like cultures and traditions, and so you kind of, it builds your imagination and it builds you musically. You could like write about different things. A lot of people get stuck in Yonkers, and I feel like with all lines of work, they'll go get a city job or whatever it is, and that's like their 9 to 5, and it's just they're just gonna die in Yonkers. And you kind of got to want more for yourself than that. I also feel like there's a black cloud over Yonkers. That's why we named our company Black Cloud. I feel like
Why do you say that?
I feel like not too many people make it out of Yonkers, and I feel like
Do you think that has something to do with the people that you said that they get comfortable?
that, and I feel like the support system really isn't there. A lot of people, I don't know if they're all in competition with each other. Everyone's in competition. I feel like everyone's in competition anyway in life in general. But I feel like Yonkers is like more of
A little
that.
bit more so.
Yeah, and
Because competition's good, but you gotta help each other. Like,
right,
you know
I'm
what I'm
not.
saying? You gotta build each other up. But like you were saying when you started,
I'd
with-
rather not compete. I'd rather you inspire me.
let's both go together
and
yeah.
motivate me. If I see you're dropping an album and it went #1 and you got a record with fucking Michael Jackson, I'm not gonna hate on you. I'm gonna be inspired and motivated by that.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, that's dope. I feel like a lot of people in Yonkers, they'll hate.
Envy.
And and they don't fully support each other. Everyone got their own little crew, their own block, their own clique, and
Yeah.
everyone stays to themselves, not knowing it kind of takes everybody to get to the
Yeah.
next
Rest
level.
together.
Yeah, and when I say competition is good, like I firmly believe that competition is good. Like you should want to win,
Right.
right? Like, but to your point is let's win together.
Right.
Like we should want to we should want to win. You should hate to lose. Like especially in sports. Like I hate to lose. Okay, if I'm playing sports, I want to win. If I'm playing a fucking board game, I'm not playing just to play.
Right.
I want to win. Okay, I'm
100%.
gonna try to win. But to your point, it's like, all right, you're doing something great. I want to see you succeed, and you want to see me succeed. And I want to try. If I can help you get up there, and you can help me, like let's go together.
You play
But
to win the
let's
game.
Let's both
You play.
try to win at this
Yeah.
whatever this game is that we're
Right.
playing, the game of life. Like I want to see you win, and you want to see me win, and that's who I want to ride with. If you don't want to, because I feel like a lot of people, not a lot, but I feel like there's some people that they want to see you win, but not more than they win.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're happy when you succeed, but if you're succeeding more than them,
They're not happy.
And
Or
I don't
they're
want those
halfway
people.
happy.
Yeah, I don't want those people around me.
That's like the saying,
Like I want the people that are really, truly happy for when I'm winning. They're applauding me and they're like pushing me up to go high. How much higher can you
Yeah,
go?
right.
Let's go. Let's raise the bar, and then vice versa. Because if you can give that to me and I can give that to you, like That's when we go together like this. But if you have somebody that comes up like this, and as soon as they get higher than you, they want to pull you down, then you stay stagnant.
Right.
But if somebody succeeds and it's like, all right, now you bring me higher, and then let's keep raising the bar for each other, and that's when you go.
But sadly, not
to the
everybody,
moon, you know?
Not everybody thinks like that.
Not everybody thinks like that.
So if you have like that,
And those people stay down here.
right? If you have that winner's mentality, and you're an entrepreneur or go getter, you're gonna think like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna win no matter what.
Right. That's how I feel.
I mean,
No matter what. There is
more-
no plan
the more
B. 'Cause
bridges
plan
you
A,
build-
I'm making plan A work.
Right.
think about it. The more bridges you built, right? You're building 1 million bridges across the country. There's different ways you can get to different places. The
Yeah.
more bridges you burn, they're just
Yeah,
eliminating
you're just
the
limiting
spots where you
yourself.
can go.
But that's why I say competition go. Like, you should want to win. I want to win. No matter what, I want to win.
who was the Colts coach?
Yeah.
You play to win the
Play
game.
to win a game.
What-
Yeah.
who
You
was that? That
play
was the
to
most-
win the game. That's fuck. Is that
Play
Gundy?
for-
Gundy? Is that his name?
No, that was
Doesn't matter. I know you
he played
play
the Colts though.
to win the game.
But I also forgot to mention, speaking of Yonkers, we're friends with Gianna's Deli. I remember seeing a picture over with.
that
I remember
place,
that was the first time I
Bro.
actually saw a picture of you. Because
bro, that place is
The best.
banging.
If you ever want to kill me,
Yo,
just wait outside for the
bang. That place is
all right, duly
so
noted. Duly
good.
noted. Thanks.
Let's edit that one out.
But no, we've been actually supposed to have Gianna and Dina on the podcast for the last year, but we can never. Our schedules just haven't been aligning. But that's the best deli I think in Westchester
That
by
deli's
far.
amazing. Their whole team over there.
They crush it.
Yeah,
Oh, they gave-
Gianna, Nicole,
we
Dina,
came in
Phil the
one night
Butcher.
like
Phil the Butcher, baby.
it was
Insane.
It was
Yeah.
almost closing, and we were coming in to order some stuff.
No, you're thinking of GNR Deli in the Bronx.
We didn't know Gianna's didn't do that.
No, you're thinking of GNR.
Oh, I'm thinking of GNR. All right,
Yeah,
scratch that.
yeah. You're
We
thinking
came
of
in and
GNR.
it gave us a whole bunch of shit at the end.
That was after we did
cool.
our taxes. Yeah. But where was I going with this? Yeah. So speaking of that, I think Gianna, it was maybe your birthday or something for you, and she posted a picture, and I was like, oh, who is it? Who is this? Because she posted your song, and that was my first time ever seeing who you were. Then I correlated after we met. I was like, oh shit, this is the same guy.
Right.
So I just wanted to, give
Small
a quick
world,
shout,
man.
give a quick shout out
Small
to Gianna's
world.
Deli.
Yeah, definitely. They cater every event that I do. I do like different like weed events, just like family and friends. I'll rent a place out. They cater the food. Different birthdays or whatever it is, they cater the food. They're
Probably one of the
amazing.
most important things you need at a weed event, right?
Food. 100%.
And it speaks volumes because my wife is she's Italian, so she's
She's a
very,
pothead. I'm just kidding.
No. Complete opposite, actually.
Just
She had weed brownies once in college and completely bugged out.
I'm just kidding.
But I forgot, we ordered like a plate of chicken cutlets and stuff like that. And my wife's very particular with food, especially chicken cutlets. They got to be thin. They got to be this, you know how it goes.
Yep.
So when I ordered them, she's like, wow, these are phenomenal. Like, where'd you get these? I'm like, oh, it's Gianna. She's like, all right, we have to cater from here every single time. I
Yep.
said, perfect. I said, Gianna. I said, Dina. I was talking to Dina. I was like, you're
Hook
on the
it
hook
up.
for everything that we do, because there's not many places my wife goes, because she likes everything homemade. So when
Right.
I have to order something, I'm always like a little skip. I'm like, fuck, am I going to get my balls busted because it's not good enough? But Gianna's came through.
Yeah, no, they're amazing over there.
Right? They do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, where was I just going with that? Just fucking lost the train. Oh, speaking, not weed, but cigars. So you like cigars?
I didn't want to interrupt you guys. This is a fucking good cigar.
Thank you.
I was going to interrupt you earlier, but I was like, let me stop.
It's all right. He interrupts
Please,
me all the
'cause
time.
No.
I got a problem with it, okay?
No. This is a good fucking cigar.
Thank you.
I don't
man.
know if we can
appreciate it,
curse here.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Joe.
of course,
Appreciate
dude.
that.
I've been fucking cursing this whole time. I'm trying to not curse as much.
Right.
Okay, I'm a Christian man. I'm trying to not. I haven't been doing a good job of it.
It's not
on this
fucking
show.
bullshit. You're gonna keep cursing.
But thank you for that. We're gonna
Definitely
send you.
good
We're gonna
cigar.
send you home with
Yeah,
a
we'll give
bunch
you
of
some
them.
cigars.
Thank you.
We actually have an event on Friday, so we just got a boatload this
Yeah.
right before you guys came here to go up the Cuban box test. And we're like, you know what this is? He said, I'd never seen it in my life. So when you open the box of Cubans, right, it has that piece of paper,
Right.
that piece of wax paper.
Mhm.
So to tell if it's an official Cuban piece of paper or wax paper in the box, all you have to do is hold that piece of paper in your hand, and from the heat, the paper will start curling.
Yeah.
And that it's a good indication that the box of Cubans that it has
It's made.
is real.
It's made with a special type of paper that the warmth of your hand will curl the.
Really?
Yeah. We did it live.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
did it live.
It's
Yours failed?
No.
No, it was
Well,
good.
hers. This was years before I knew about that, but I just knew from the Cohiba bands, like you need the 8 blocks, you need to have the holographic Indian heads,
Yeah.
one inside the other. So I knew like those little tricks of the trade. But the wax paper, he turned me on to that idea and or that process. So it was hysterical as having a Cuban sitting right there, like kind of sweating bullets, like if he got a real box, box of Cuban.
Yeah, because he didn't know
He's
that.
like, holy shit,
he didn't know that. And then
that.
we tell him about that. He's like,
yeah, I got.
Wait, what?
Yeah, let me see.
He said,
that.
yeah,
That's crazy.
So was he the guy that got you into cigars?
Yeah, definitely. Like
how long has it been? How long have you been smoking cigars for?
maybe 15 years now.
Okay, so you've been like the whole time that you've been.
Yeah, we would always hang out at a cafe, old school Italian joint. The owner passed away recently, Basilio, rest in peace to him. Old man, crazy motherfucker, fresh off the boat. Doesn't give a fuck about nobody.
Yeah.
You come into his cafe, if he don't want to serve you, he tells you he's sold out and kicks you out.
Just one of those guys. He don't give a shit.
He don't care about nothing.
That's awesome.
All he cares about.
You gotta love those guys. Like,
all he cares about is waiting for like 4 o'clock to start his cigars. But he'll have a cigar throughout the day. He'll leave his cigar outside, in and out the whole day, telling people, "Oh, I'm sold out of sandwiches." We'll come in, he'll wink at us. Sit down, don't worry, we got you. I'm like, oh
Just
shit.
one of those-
He just
yeah.
kicked them out.
just a real
And-
old
and
school
He
Italian.
would close the store, and we would sit there, have cappuccinos, cigars, espressos, and he'll bring out the cold cuts and
Most
all of
definitely.
that. Like, so it became like a weekly thing. We would go there like almost every day, have a cigar, hang out. But like on the weekend, he would close the store early, be a group of us, cappuccinos, cigars, and the
Have you
actual
had
connect.
cappuccino and cigar? You've had the
Yeah.
Oh,
For years.
What a pairing,
For years,
right?
yeah.
Oh,
Insane. For years.
great.
Telling him about the coffee and
Ah,
cigars are our
it's
favorite.
Yeah, it's the best thing in the world.
Oh, it's so good.
So we were doing that for years and years. And the actual connect would be there. And he would be taking people's orders, and he's like, old school mobster. And
Yeah.
he'd get you whatever you want.
You're
You
like,
need Yankee
we're like,
tickets
are
for the
you
World
are you
Series.
connected somehow? Like you kind of back of your mind, you're like,
yeah, you just know.
yeah,
you know
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the guy.
Yeah.
And he never I don't think he made any money on us. He would just want us to all have cigars, and every day we'd meet up and smoke cigars and hang out.
Yeah, that's what it's about. I'm trying to find the video of him because of Jose on the actual video. But fuck, I got.
How many cigars you smoke a day?
So it's tough because I don't smoke every single day, right? But I will say when you average it out, it's probably one a day. Because, like, for instance, like Monday, Tuesday, I didn't smoke. Today, I'll smoke 2, maybe 3, depending on how long we go. Like, I'm going to smoke another one right now.
Yeah, I need one more.
How
How long we been going?
A little over an hour and like 20 minutes. Something
Okay,
like
cool.
that. So I'll smoke like 2 today, maybe 3. Tomorrow, I'll probably smoke 1 because I got a buddy coming over, going to watch some hockey. Friday, I don't know, see where the day goes. Saturday I might smoke. Sunday I might smoke. So, like, if you look at it, the course of the week, like Monday, Tuesday I won't. Wednesday's 2, Thursday's 1, Friday maybe, Saturday. So it averages out to about 1 a day. And then in the summer, in the winter, we have this, which is nice, right? Some people don't have a place to smoke in the winter. This is not. It's heated, but it's heated with a little space heater. It does the job.
Definitely.
In the summer, when I got the pool open and stuff, like on a Saturday night or something, my wife and I'll come out here. My wife smokes too, and she's actually, it's funny because, so I said we just had our first kid, and she, when she was pregnant, we love wine. Right? I was telling, we'll talk about wine too because I know you have your wine company, but so we love wine, and she would smoke cigars with me too, and we'll have like wine and cigars in the pool and whatnot. And during her pregnancy, I'd asked her, I said, "Do you miss like drinking wine?" Because she would like not drink. She would have a glass here and there, which is totally normal when you're pregnant. But I was like, "Do you miss the wine?" She's like, "Honestly, I miss cigars more." And I'm like, "Yes."
Crazy.
I'm like, I just fell in love with you all over again. So, but during the summer, we'll go out in the pool and we'll chill in the pool, have a bottle of wine, and I'll smoke like 2 or 3 cigars, just like,
Nice.
just chilling.
Yeah.
Just put the music on, and it's just because it's heated, so I'll be there till midnight, just smoking cigars. And then so some days, like we used to go to a cigar fest, which was a big festival in the Poconos, where it was kind of like a trade show. You'd go in, you'd buy a ticket, they give you this book of like coupons, and then you'd go into the venue, and there'd be all the booths, and you'd go to a booth, you give them the ticket, they give you a cigar. You give them a ticket, you give you a cigar. You go around, and you'd walk out of there with like 500 sticks. Mm-hmm. But when we would go to those events, it'd be like you go on a Friday, you come home Sunday, it'd be like 15 cigars in a weekend. You're smoking like 5 a day.
Wow.
Like you get to the end, it's like it doesn't even matter what you smoke
Right.
at this point. It's like you can't taste any.
Yeah,
Like,
just light it.
he's smoking a whole bunch.
Oh yeah, I finally found it. I finally got it. Here we go.
What were you looking for?
Testing a box of Cubans with Jose.
Oh yeah, there it is.
We're gonna do a test live right here. All right, stick out your hand. Stick out your hand.
There's a box of Romeo and Juliet.
There it is. That's the test. There it is,
Wow.
baby. Did you know about that? No.
He's like, no, I had no idea.
Make sure it's a legit Cuban box. Is they have this paper, which is like the seal.
He's like, good thing those are
seal,
fucking real.
basically, and it's made with a special material that when you put it in your hand, the heat from your hand.
That's
He had no idea. He had no idea.
Look at it. That's
And it was.
is that legit though?
It really happens. And there's a bunch of other things too, like with the labels, and the labels have to line up, and the coloration of the box, and the number. Like with Cohibas, there's supposed to be a holographic Indian head inside the foil head.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a certain number of rows of squares, the color.
Yeah, you go on
seal,
YouTube or
like-
TikTok or Instagram. There's all
There's a
different
lot.
people,
There's
like,
a lot
showing you what
that
you need
goes
to
into
do.
it, but that is one. And sometimes if you get a box, it doesn't even have that. That's like the certificate of authenticity. Some boxes don't even have it, and that's like a telltale.
Yeah, of
It's like,
course.
if it doesn't have that, it's like getting a Rolex that doesn't have all the papers with
Right.
it. You're like, all right, is this like a legit Rolex?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Okay, that's why whenever you buy it, it's like I want the papers. I
Of
want to make
course.
sure. But anyway, so you've been smoking for 15 years.
Yep.
Who introduced you to cigars?
Well, you said that-
Joe, right?
Joe.
Joe, yeah.
Okay. So you know Joe, because Joe said he knew you Jadakiss since high school. So I'm assuming you.
No, he went to school. Joe's older than me.
Okay.
Joe went to middle school with
With Jada,
Jadakiss.
that's what he said. Middle
Yeah,
school.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
And
that's how it worked out.
you knew. You said Jada knew your older brother,
He grew up with my older brother. They went to high school together. Him, Styles, Sheik.
and then you kind of got in with them.
Yeah.
Now, does Jada smoke? Does Jada smoke too? With
He'll smoke a cigar here and there.
Yeah?
He smokes cigars. His thing is weed. Him, Sheik, Styles love weed.
yeah.
But Kiss will have a cigar. He actually invited me. I told him I was taking him dinner for his last birthday in May. And then he's like, yo, I want to, let's go to this spot in Jersey. It's an Italian restaurant that you can smoke cigars in.
Oh,
Somewhere in Jersey.
Oh, is that Sophia's?
Sophia's in the basement. You go downstairs.
I don't know. He knows about it. I told him I was going to treat him. He's like, all right, let's go there. We'll have a cigar, this and that. It might be that.
If it's in Jersey,
It's in Jersey.
yeah, it might be. I
There's
think
not many
it's.
places in Jersey where you can eat and
I
smoke
think
a
it's
cigar.
Inglewood. I think it's Inglewood. It's a place called Sophia's. You go in, then you go to the basement. It's like a speakeasy place.
It's definitely that.
Could be that. Okay.
Yeah,
So we were supposed to go there.
Great
Then
spot.
He injured his leg, had to cancel, and then he had to go to rehab for his leg and all of that. So we just never got around
So,
to doing
so
it.
speaking of working with Sheik Luge, Styles P, Jadakiss, what's one piece of advice that each of them gave you that you still use today?
Well, that's a good question, man.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
Sheik always tells me that when they were younger, when they were signing Bad Boy, they would like, go to the studio, bullshit, do whatever, leave, go back to the block, hang out, smoke, drink, and obviously they were younger. And Puff brought them in a room one day, and Puff was like, yo, why is it that I have way more money than all three of you? I'm way more successful than all of you, and I'm in the studio way longer than you guys. I don't even have to be here. I'm making millions of dollars, and I'm in here before you guys get in here, and I'm in here after you guys leave. Basically telling them, like, you guys need to work more.
You're not hustling.
Like, yeah. You're getting comfortable. So they always, especially Sheik, that shit got instilled in him, and to this day, when he's in the studio, he'll come in. There's 3 rooms in the studio. He'll say, "What up to everybody? This, and that." Everybody be hanging out with their own. Everybody got their own crew, and everybody's hanging out. One big family. He says, "What up?" Goes right into the room, locks the door, starts writing.
Because he's there to work.
He's there to work.
Yep.
He'll have a drink. A few people go in the room.
Yeah, loosen up a little
hang
bit.
out with him or whatever, but he's in there working every single time he's in the studio. And either that or they're shooting their podcast. They have a podcast as well, 2 Blacks, 2 Jews. It's either
Oh, that's what their podcast.
It's called Two Blacks, Two Jews.
I've seen some
Jewish
clips
guys,
about
Eric
that.
and Jeff. Shout out to them. It's the real. Great
Two
guys.
Blacks, Two Jews. That's what it's called?
They review
pretty funny.
movies. Now they're gonna change the name to 3 Blacks, 2 Jews. Because in the beginning it was just Styles and Sheik.
Yeah.
And Eric and Jeff. And when they came up with the idea, Kiss was sleeping. So he wasn't involved
So
in
now
it.
Kiss is involved.
Now Kiss shows up to every episode. They're like, all right, he's with us every single episode.
I didn't know what
So,
that was because I
good
saw
name.
some clips. It was like, what Chic
Mad About Now.
Well, yeah, what Chic mad
Yeah,
about now?
crazy.
Yeah. That's so funny.
So-
were you at the Verses with them and Dipset?
Yeah, definitely was. I actually,
How the hell was that experience like?
I was in Mexico on vacation, and I booked my flight a day to leave a day early, just to make sure I get to the Verses, which was the day after. And the people at the resort were like, "Oh, don't worry, because you need to get the COVID test to be allowed back to America."
Yeah, so during that time.
Yeah, so,
So-
Verses, if you didn't know, it's like, they take artists and they just put up their best bangers against each other, and they go in front of a crowd and see who vibes with the.
But they were doing it for fun during COVID.
Yeah.
Then by the time it got to like the Locks versus Dipset, it became very, very competitive. Like who's the best in New York? It was like a big New York thing.
Yeah.
So they did it at Madison Square Garden, which was like the first time ever. Because before they were just doing it in little studios, and the artists would play their records, and it was like all fun and games. When it got to that, they were fighting on the internet, making videos, dissing each other back and forth. It was crazy. So I get to they're telling me, "Oh, just go to the airport. They're gonna test you. Once you pass, you're good. You can fly." I'm like, "All right, cool." Get to the airport like 3 hours early to make sure I get tested.
Like I'm making sure I get home.
And they're like, "Oh," the lady's like, "Oh, sorry, the doctors all left for the day, but don't worry, we'll give you a voucher. You come back tomorrow." I'm like, "I can't come back tomorrow.
I got to go today."
I said, "I have to go today. It's an emergency." And they're like, "Oh, sorry, you can't. Your country doesn't want you back unless you got tested." I'm telling this lady, me and her start
I'd
fighting.
have went home, made it. I'd have printed out a fucking
I start
test.
fighting with this lady. I said, "Listen, I'm either going to jail or I'm going home. You could pick." I said, "I am not staying
Book
for
me on a
another day."
flight. I'll deal with it when I get on the other side.
She's like, "You can't." Then she was like, after fighting with her, fighting, she's like, "Go to the hospital. There's a local hospital. Go there and get tested." She don't tell me this hospital is like a fucking hour away. They put me in a $200 taxi, $200 fucking dollars in Mexico. I'm like, "Yo, I know they're jerking me."
I was gonna say.
I said, "You know what? I don't give a fuck."
You had to.
Here's your
Yeah.
$200.
Back to New Corn. Like, what am I
Take
gonna
me.
do? Yeah.
So I get in the taxi with this guy. This guy is fucking cruising. He's doing 5 miles an hour. He don't speak English. I got no service. I don't speak Spanish. I go in my bag. I had $50. I said, "Yo, Poppy, this is a tip." I said, "Go." He saw the $50. This guy's doing 120 miles an hour.
That's all he needs.
His
You don't
car's
need to
ready
speak
to-
a lick. He knows this.
His
thing.
car's ready to break down. We're like on dirt roads. I can't text nobody like where I'm at. Nothing. No service. Gets me to this hospital. Jumps out. Tells me leave everything. He opens my door. He rushes me into the hospital like I got shot. Rushes me in there. I cut the whole line. They test me. Now I'm outside. You got to wait like 20, 30 minutes, whatever. He comes running out with the paper that I passed, that I'm good. Throws me back in the car. Jet back to the airport. They're boarding. As soon as I get back to the airport, they're boarding. I run up. They tell me, "Oh, no, you need my ticket. I need another ticket. I got to go back downstairs." I'm like, "Fuck, I'm about to miss this flight." The lady that I was fighting with seen me, grabs me, brings me downstairs. She lets me cut the whole line, go to the front. She gives me my ticket, and I go back. I end up making it to the Verses the next day. I was like, "Yo," but it was so.
You're just
fucking-
hoping that
it was
but
so
this
worth
like
it.
you're just hoping that this hospital exists and this isn't like a
Yeah.
scheme where they would drop me off in
Because
the
at
middle of
least-
nowhere.
At that point, I was ready for whatever. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I had
like,
to make
yeah.
the
Either I am getting shot here or I'm gonna
right.
get
the hype behind the Verses was so crazy that I knew I couldn't miss it.
Yeah.
I could not. Everyone you could think of was in there, and everyone with the COVID mask.
You're like, fuck it, I will.
I know
I'll drive.
for a fact
if I have
everyone
to.
left there with COVID. Whoever was in attendance that day left with COVID. It was not, but it was worth it.
Is it wild how now it's like, damn, like what COVID? Like it's like
Yeah.
now it's like
Now it's a cold.
now it's not now
of
it's
course.
nothing. Like
I mean, at least once a week, or even maybe once every 2 weeks, I see a clip still from that Verses where Jadakiss is talking about what does he say? He says we got Grammys, or what's he say?
You got grams.
Yeah, he goes, "We know about Grammys. All you know about is grams."
He killed them. That whole Verses,
That thing was sick. That was so nuts.
that I feel like gave the locks a whole new life because there was like hundreds of thousands of kids online watching it, streaming, and a lot of them didn't know who the locks were. People knew Dipset because Joell's was younger and their fashion and everything. But with the locks, when they first came out, there was really no internet. So a lot of the kids, the locks were rapping longer than these kids were alive.
Yeah.
So, but after the verses, you started seeing, like, the very next day, Kanye booked us a private jet, sent his private jet to Teterboro, got us on the jet to go, wanted the locks on his album the day before his album dropped.
Sick.
We landed at like 4 in the morning in the Atlanta Falcons Stadium, and they recorded the verse for Kanye. Like, right after that, everything started changing.
See, that's one thing that COVID, I guess, I don't want to say it was a good thing, right? Because, listen, I get it. People got sick. People passed away. It's a shame. But one of the things that came of that was the social media, like the boom. Like, social media was a big thing, right? But then COVID happened, and the boom. Because nobody could do anything.
Right.
Podcast.
All they could do was stream.
Right.
So to your point is, you put the verses out, and now it's the amount of people on the internet, like on a regular basis, skyrocketed.
Mm-hmm.
So all of your viewership, you drop one thing, and it can go viral overnight.
Everything.
You know what? To speak on the same subject, one of the best live performances I ever seen, which you'll appreciate, is with Nas and Jadakiss, the Major Look remix.
Crazy. With Ludacris.
Bro, when I watch that, I want to run through a wall.
Insane.
That thing, you have.
Is it bad that I haven't seen it?
No, I mean you know, it's like not me knowing a fucking epic rock fucking concert or some shit. But when I watch that, anytime I see it on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, I sit and always watch it because I don't know how to explain it.
Right.
It's just like you had to
We'll
be
watch
there.
it. We'll do it after this for sure,
Bro.
I can put it on right now, but we might get copyrighted. So.
Yeah, but it's nuts because it's just Nas performing, and then Ludacris. Ludacris from Atlanta. He pops out of nowhere. Everyone's
Crowd
going
goes
nuts.
crazy.
And then Jadakiss is the last verse, so everyone's like, "All right, Ludacris is done." And then all of a sudden, Jadakiss pops out, and everyone goes, and it's fucking mayhem.
And there's like 100 people on stage jumping up
Oh.
and down, thousands in the crowd losing their mind. It's nuts.
And Made You Look song is such a high energy song. Forget it, bro. It's like
And
one
they're
of
all wearing their 4 or 5X jackets. And crazy.
nuts.
You remember that time? That's funny you say, because I was looking back at some of the old. I don't know when I saw this, but the NBA draft, and you look at the outfits. From the eras.
Yeah.
And
The
you look
90s.
at, you look at like the 2000s. Everybody was coming out with the triple X. Like, it was way too big for you. Like, everything was so baggy. And now they come out with everything that's so small.
Got capri pants.
And they
Showing
some
ankles.
of these people are coming out with these just craziest, like the wildest suits. I'm like, just whatever happened to a black, gray, and blue suit? Like, just put on a normal suit, man.
The more it costs, the nicer it is,
That's
and
not-
that's not
nah,
it.
Definitely not
man,
the truth.
That's
That's
not
not
true at all.
Because I can go to fucking H&M and get a better outfit than that $20,000
No
thing that you're wearing,
No
whatever
doubt,
you're wearing.
bro.
There's a guy I follow on Instagram, that a fashion guy that does that, where he says, all right, I'm going to compare the same outfit, right, whatever the outfit is. Let's say it's like a pair of nice like chinos or something. He's got dress shoes on, a pair of chinos, a button-up shirt, a jacket, right, pocket square belt. Like, he puts on a suit, and he'll say this one is $15,000. Because he's got like the Hermes belt, he's got like the Louis Vuittons, he's got like everything, and he goes, same outfit, $200.
Right.
You can't tell the difference.
No
Like,
doubt.
the only thing that you can tell is the big H on the belt.
Yeah.
Everything
Right.
else, like, you can't tell, and then maybe what, like, the red bottoms. Like, there's only two things you can tell, but at face value, looks exactly the same. He's like, so why are you spending $15,000 on this outfit? You can just get it for $200. Like,
Right. Even if you have the money, you want to spend $15,000, cool.
buy a watch,
But spend it on an outfit that kind of looks
clean.
normal. Yeah, clean.
Yeah.
Not this crazy shit that.
Fashion's a wild world. I mean, you see the stuff on Instagram and the videos and whatnot, and there's this like one account. He dresses fucking nuts. He's wearing like snowmobile goggles that cost like $1,000, and he's like, all right, man, what are you wearing? And it's like a sweater that like this with holes in it, and it's like dirt all over it. And he's like, what's this? Oh, he's like, oh man, I got this is my my homie's
this
thing.
is
and
Balenciaga.
It's
$5,000.
$3,000 for the hoodie, and then it's like, oh, what are on the shoes? And it's like, oh, the shoes are $10,000, and that's like these big Martian shoes. And I'm like, bro,
I hate those.
what is going on?
But see, I I agree with what you're saying. It's like, listen, if you're gonna, like, for instance, my wedding tux, right? I spent like $2,500 on this jacket, okay? But the jacket is a black velvet tuxedo jacket, and the lining is all cigars. Like all cigars, and I had special pockets made for my cigar cutter, for my cigars. I had my wedding date, my name stitched in it. Like, it's a very nice. It fits like a glove, and I wear it as like a smoking jacket. We do events. I wear it as a smoking jacket, and it's a classic black tux.
Right.
Like, the special thing is the liner, which you don't see unless I open it up. But it's
thinking of something else.
I'm okay with spending that amount of money on something like that, but.
Has value to you.
But to me, it's like it's a very important thing. And we also interviewed this guy, George Laboda, who's another fashion guy. And he says whenever he buys something, he thinks of cost per wear. He's like, so for instance, he goes, if you're going to buy a pair of shoes, and the shoes cost you $3,000, but you're only going to wear them once a year on New Year's Eve. So let's say you wear them 5 years before you have to get another pair because you want to, like, upgrade. It's like, that's $3,000, and you've only worn them 5 times. He goes, that's $600 a wear. He goes, but if I buy a $15,000 Rolex and I wear it every single day,
you got your money's worth
for the next 10 years, because that breaks down to like what, $1 a day, $1 a wear. He goes, I'm okay with spending that amount of money. Or if I'm going to spend $2,000 on a suit, but I'm going to wear that suit 150 times before it, so I'm okay with that. But to spend this crazy amount of money that you're going to wear it one time. Now, granted, it's relative, right? If you're making $100 million a year, okay, you can buy whatever the fuck you want. Like, I get it, all right? But it's the people that are spending more than they have on. It's who said it? There's a saying that says you're spending money that you don't have on stuff you don't need to impress people that don't matter.
Yeah.
right
Kind of goes like that. Like, why are you spending all this money on something you're going to wear one time? Nobody even going to fucking remember what you wore.
My wedding, one of my best friends, he had to get his tux altered, and my father-in-law still brings it up to this day because he wanted it to, where his like ankles were showing. But
That's a little too short.
But the thing that he said to the tailor was, "Hey, I want you to like stitch it up here so it gives me like a nice fucking bulge." And the guy was like,
crazy.
"What?" He's like, "I want it like a little tight so you can see that." And my father-in-law still brings him. He's like, "Dude, remember that one time your fucking friend wanted his stitches, hem his pants a little bit tighter so his fucking balls showed?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's his personality to this day."
That's uncomfortable, man.
He wanted to show it, I guess. I don't
to impress the girl.
He was single
little,
at the time,
you
so
know. What's that movie Superbad? He's like, if I wear tighter pants, like you can see kind of like the outlines of my dick.
Yeah, there you go.
Looks like a division sign.
That's
like
basically him.
dick,
He wanted the fucking, the fucking moose knuckle. I'm like, bro, come on.
All right, so I got a question. This might be, thoughts on Eminem. Okay, thoughts on Eminem. Is he? Some people say he's the GOAT. Some people say he's not the GOAT. Some people say don't fuck with M. Something like thoughts on M. Is he inspiration? Is he
Definitely an inspiration. Definitely don't fuck with him. He will do 1,000 diss records and go for hours. Overall, definitely one of the top lyricists.
Is he like it? He's just a different. Would you consider him in like the realm of like the upper echelon? Like he's up here with everybody else, and then there's like the top.
He's definitely up there. For me personally, I'm gonna stick with Jay-Z and Nas because that's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
Eminem came later.
Because there's a lot of like I've heard mixed things about.
And I like music or artists that I can relate to more. I really couldn't relate to.
I mean, he had some dark shit in the beginning.
Yeah, like fighting with his mom
he had
and
some
this,
dark
like
shit.
crazy shit. But as far as you take all that away and just
the
lyrics and rap, he could rap his ass off.
He's
one of the GOATs.
Like he's got some like I remember this one interview that he talked about with rhyming with the word orange. Somebody was telling me, was like, well, some people say you can't rhyme with orange. He's like, well, I could think of like 10 words that rhyme with orange. He's like, it's just the way you say it.
Right.
He's like, if I just said orange, it's like at face value, nothing's going to rhyme. But if I said orange, I can do door hinge with 4-inch and porridge and all. Like he would say all these words. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Like okay, and then he put out a couple bars all rhyming with orange. And I'm like, fuck does that? Like how do?
All right, let me switch it up now. Top 3 favorite Nas songs.
I was gonna ask him top rap song all time. Like,
Well, Nas is one of the separate goats.
it's a tough. It's putting people on the spot. This is tough.
I couldn't tell you right off the bat, but
Me neither, but
they got to be from Illmatic.
definitely. But also, I Gave You Power,
Yeah,
where he's rapping as if he's a gun,
yeah.
the whole song.
That is so
Insane.
wild. You just brought that up because I was just talking to my brother about it last week. I forgot what I was. I have like a '90s hip hop playlist, and he's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Well, whatever, it's my playlist." And he goes, "Put on Nas, I Gave You Power." And I was like, "Shit, I haven't heard this song in a million years." It was like literally 2 weeks ago.
He destroyed that record.
That's nuts.
He's incredible. Shit like that is like,
Because you can close your eyes and just it's like you're like watching a movie. What are you
He's
talking
telling
about?
you
Well,
in the
who
beginning,
else
it's
is
like I'm a
like
gun.
that you like a lot? That is
J. Cole.
Yeah,
J.
that is
Cole-
more of like
J.
a
Cole's
storyteller.
J. Cole's very similar to Nas.
Cole's
Do you listen
super
like?
dope.
Do you like that too? Like more of a storyteller. That like the song itself is kind of has got a story to it and not just throwing words out. Like,
I personally like doing records where everything fits, like
yeah,
everything correlates with each other.
Everything has a meaning.
right, and
because that's what I like. I don't listen to a whole lot of rap, but the rap that I do listen to, I like lyricists. I like listening to like I don't want because some of the new age stuff is just no offense, it's garbage. It's just fucking crap, and they all rap this like they'll rhyme with yeah, and I'm like, you're not. Give me something more, okay? Like, give me something more.
Lil Jon was the only one who was able to do
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I like some of the older stuff where it's lyrical.
So you like having more structure where everything kind of like the same concept with all the stuff that we have. Everything
Definitely.
has
I like-
a meaning to it.
It's like a puzzle for me at least, and you got to fit all the pieces, even down to
That's
like
a good way to put
what
it.
song I want, what artist on.
And then
like-
what song do you want first in the record?
Yeah, that happens after all the songs are done and we're ready to pick the records. I'll know what song I want as the intro. It sounds like an intro. Like there's really nothing behind. It's just
So there's a lot of thought that goes in.
definitely.
Yeah.
I feel
What
like if I
record
was
you want number
if I was
two,
in the
three,
music
four.
industry, that's how I would want to proceed. How I would want things.
That's a
Everything
good way
has
to put it, as a
structure.
puzzle.
You
And
always
it's
want the
fitting
stronger
everything.
records in the beginning, but there's really no formula. I sometimes like one of my bigger records off the album more towards the end. So when people are listening through,
They gotta go through it.
yeah, like they'll hear
Yeah.
that again, and it'll, the album isn't dying out. It'll bring them back up.
You've seen
I like how you
albums
said where
that
it's like
before.
a puzzle because it's like, all right, you got all these pieces and they're all good in their own way, but they only fit together one way.
Right.
Like you can try to piece them, but it won't make the picture.
Right.
Like you got to fit them together a certain way to make the picture, to make the album. Right. I think that's a good way to put it. I never heard of it like that.
Like I had a beat. I was just playing for Chic in my house. We're just hanging out, having a drink. I'm playing different beats. He's like, yo, that beat is crazy. He's like, yo, bring that to the studio on Monday. I'm going to record something to that. I said, all right, cool. So now I know me and him are on his record. We record. The record is crazy. And now he's like, yo, it's missing something. Just like, it's like a puzzle. Now we sat there for like a week trying to figure out who would be best on that record. And I just kept hearing Fat Joe on the record. And I was like, and I know I can't call Fat Joe and get the song. He's going to tell me, all right, give me $40,000 or whatever. So tell my big brother Sheik, like, yo, I hear Fat Joe on this record, but I don't know if we can get it. She's like, no, I'll get it. I'm like, man, I think he's just going to tell you, yeah, because it's you, but he's probably not going to do it. And she calls him. He's like, all right, I got you, but I'm just working on my project right now. Let me finish this. And in my head, I'm like, that's his way of
that's a no.
politely saying no.
Nah.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. She's like, no, he's going to do it. I'm like, I've heard this same scenario 5,000 times. Like 3 weeks later, she's like, yo, come to the studio. I come there, plays the record, Fat Joe's on it. I was like, holy shit.
Nice.
It wasn't
Hell yeah.
exactly the way that you.
Yeah, it was perfect. The record, we didn't drop it yet. It's perfect. And then there was another time we were out. Sheik and Ghostface do a lot of shows together. They have the Woo Block albums and all that. And we just, I got cool with Ghostface. And one day he's like, yo, Tech was playing, because Tech is my DJ, the Lock's DJ. He's also Ghostface DJ, Rakem's DJ, everybody.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so He's like, yo, Tech was playing me some of your music. Yo, you fucking dope. This and that. He's like, yo, send me one of your records. I'm gonna do a song with you. I was like, oh, this is Ghostface, bro. I grew up on this.
Wu-Tang, baby. Hell yeah, let's go.
Mind. I'm like, all right. So I go back to the dressing room. I'm telling Sheik, yo, Ghost wants to do a record. He's like, all right, dope. Send him the record. Now we got to figure out what, he has a specific sound.
This is for an album you're currently working on?
Yeah.
All right.
So now we got to figure out what beat, what record goes with it or whatever. So we end up picking a beat. Sheik does the hook for it. And it's perfect. It sounds like a Ghostface record now. We send it to Ghostface. He sends it back. It's added. When I drop that record, it's out of here. I already know.
When is this project supposed to be completed? Or
Can you say?
Yeah, I mean,
well, it's an ETA.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a few months. We're gonna drop the record. I got a record with Benny the Butcher. Shout out to Benny. We just shot the video for it a couple days ago in Yonkers. We're gonna drop that first in a few weeks. The song and the video at the same time. I kind of like having a visual for everything I drop, if possible. So I got that done, and then we're gonna come back with the record with Ross, the Love remix. Drop that, then we're gonna drop the project.
Because you're saying you haven't filmed the video with
we didn't shoot
Ross
the video
yet.
yet.
Yeah.
No.
I miss music videos.
Yeah.
No one does.
Ever
now
since
it's just-
MTV, now it's like Real Housewives.
Yeah. So now you pretty much gotta rely on YouTube.
Remember
YouTube
what was
and the internet.
what was it? Pop Up Video. You remember Pop Up Video?
Yeah,
on
VH1.
MTV? Or VH1. You used to
Yeah,
have
it was
all the
VH1.
fucking, yeah. But you remember that's a good point. Remember back in the day when you used to
come home from high school and
you used
put
to
on
watch the video.
MTV2 and BET.
Yeah, like
BET Jams and 106 Park. I heard 106 and Park is coming back.
Wow.
I don't know how true it is, but
do you think like streaming now has impacted the music industry as a whole more positively or negatively with like fake streams and earning per stream and all that stuff as opposed to like
I don't like it because the labels, the people that have big budgets, they can fake their streams and they can give you they'll give you millions and millions of streams your first week. Then they'll raise the value of that artist. You go and book that artist. Like my partner, Big Mike, shout out to him. He would go and book an artist. He's like, yo, they're streaming, they're going crazy. Nobody would come to the show.
It's fake, yeah.
It's all fake streams.
That's so crazy.
So and he would lose $20,000,
yeah.
$30,000.
So they put somebody up on the stream, and then they make it look like they got millions of viewers, so that you have to pay to book them.
Right,
and you pay the $100,000,
yeah.
you book them, and nobody shows up.
And nobody's there. So it's kind of like you kind of got to know who. The streams don't really matter.
Yeah.
Like the Locks don't get the most streams.
It's filling the venue.
The Locks were around when they were selling 1 million CDs when they dropped. Not all the streaming shit. You just press a button, and now the album's in your phone.
Yeah,
but 95% of our shows this last tour was sold out.
Crazy.
So they have a cult following. I'd rather that. I come from that world.
Most
I'd rather
definitely.
a cult following. I rather sell CDs because I know I'm getting $10 per CD or whatever it is.
yeah,
and the money's
old
going to
school
my pocket.
way.
Now they're giving you 3 pennies per stream. So you got to, and like 15,000 streams equals 1 album sale. The fuck is that?
Well, I mean, it's crazy to even see like when even like some of the newer rappers, right? They'd be like, "Oh, their first week did good. They sold 75,000 units," and I'm like, man, like, fucking, that would be like an abysmal start. It used to be 50 Cent was $500,000, $600,000, $800,000 his first week.
50 went platinum his first week.
Crazy. So it's like, the fact that the standard now is like, oh, 75,000 units sold.
No,
crazy.
now people are, the streams are equaling like 3,000 albums sold the first week, and after the first or second week, everyone's tired of it. They move on to the next project.
Yeah.
Everything's very, it's oversaturated.
I think that the social media has lowered the attention span. That's what you're
100%.
saying, where it's like, okay, people buy the album, and then after a week, they're like, what's next? Because social media, they're just like this. Their attention span is like 3 seconds.
There's no value.
Yeah, and they're like, I can get it, no problem. I can.
You
just
didn't
rip
go
it
out
off
and you didn't go wait at Tower Records or Best Buy, wait online and hope it didn't sell out before you got to the record. You had to go buy it with your money. Now you just press the button, you stream it.
Yeah.
You listen to it once, twice. All right, what's next? So it's really, and now they want to know. They don't even care about your music. They want to know about your personal life now. Now they want to see what
about
you're
the
wearing.
social media.
Yeah, social media.
it's all
like your fans.
It's almost like the music doesn't even matter
what you're
anymore.
eating, who you're dating, what vacation you're going on.
That's a
They
lifestyle.
care about that more than the music.
And that's why, and sometimes I feel like some of the artists that are coming out now, it's like I see it all the time. I'll you'll have some award ceremony. It's like this person won, album of the year, won this album, won this award. I'm like, who the fuck, like, who is that person? I don't even know who that person is. Yeah. Just put little at the end of, in the beginning of something, and it's some person out there. Like, who is this person? And it's like they picked some person out there. Like, all right, we can make him look like a good rap. Just have somebody back him, and they put out some stupid garbage. I go, I could fucking do that.
I mean, even with this era, you just see a lot of more burnout. You see all these rappers
they'll
come
get
out
one
super,
song, and
super
that's it.
hot. Tekashi 6ix9ine, the hottest. Now he's, where the fuck is he?
When he came out, all those streams were fake.
Crazy.
Like hundreds of millions of streams. Is he a big artist, or was he a big artist? Probably. I don't know. You're never going to know, because he had this company pouring millions of dollars into fake streams and bots and everything.
So what's the benefit for the company, so they can charge
more for a booking,
get
right?
more for booking.
It raises the value of the artist.
Supposedly,
they get 90-something% of the money that is being generated. The artist gets nothing. Not like Snoop had an interview. He was like, I forgot. They showed him. He had like, I forgot how many billions of streams, and he's like, I got a $75,000 check. $75,000 for billions of streams is insane.
Well, that's like the big thing now with what is it called? Like getting the rights to your music, right? The
masters.
Masters. Thank you. That was, and the Locks did that too, right? Then they
got their masters back from Puff. They got it back a few years back.
That was I remember that thing.
And when it came, by the time it came out and everyone was going crazy about it, they had been got it back.
Yeah,
but nobody really knew about it. They don't really promote it. Hey, we got our masters back, but he gave them their masters back. They got.
Because that was like on the radio. I remember
that in the beginning.
Yeah, that was like one of the first cases. What I remember when I was like, "What the fuck is a masters? Why do they care so much what this stuff is?" But yeah, that's
your whole catalog. Like people are selling their masters now, 50 million, 40 million, 100 million. Irv Gotti, before he passed away, rest in peace, he sold his masters for like $200 million. Unfortunately, he passed away, but his family has $200 million.
$200 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So better than whoever owning the masters, whatever label or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just them collecting all the money. Biggie's mom, rest in peace to her. She turned, I think he was worth like $10 or $15 million before he passed away. When he passed away, she turned into like $100 or something million with selling his masters and whatever she was doing behind the scenes. She turned his empire to like $100+ million. Wow. So.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's your whole livelihood. That's why you go into that industry to have that longevity. So which is crazy.
So what are we at right now? It's been an hour and 50 minutes, almost 2 hours ago.
Yeah, we're coming to the end here.
So before we wrap this up, we appreciate you again coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Both of you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you listen to any other styles of music besides hip hop?
I love all music.
So what are some of your? Because I love some of like the 40s, the 50s, like the Rat Pack and Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. All those, like, I listen to a lot of that stuff. I listen to heavy metal when I'm working out. Like, I listen to country because my wife's from Texas. I listen to a lot of that. So besides hip hop, what are some of the other genres of music that you like to listen to?
Definitely R&B. I love R&B. I listen to, there's a station 106.7.
Yeah.
If you listen to that. Whatever's playing, I'll leave that on the whole day. When I'm driving, I'll listen to that. I don't really like listening to hip hop when I'm not working, for whatever reason. But then there's times where I'm playing different hip hop albums. Whatever's dropping, I'll give it a listen, see if I like it, and if I like it, I'll play it when I'm in the mood. It's just different, but like 106.7, whatever comes on, I'm listening to.
Just listen
from like. Whether it's Def Leppard or Bon Jovi.
So some of the old school rock. And some of that,
I love all that.
You're just a lover of all types of
music. I listen to country. I really don't care.
That's like country's probably like the only genre that I don't really listen to. I have to be like upstate New York in the summer with like a beer or something to like even try to think about.
There's different types of country. So there's like some of the pop country now.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit, it's poppy. It's like the radio, country
version of it. I feel like country's kind of depressing. No,
there can be.
I don't want that. I don't like
there can
that
be.
country.
No.
I don't want to cry when I'm listening.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
There
no,
can
I feel
be,
you.
yeah.
I feel you.
But
on
there's
that
some other, like some highway country or some of the older country songs, not some of the poppy stuff now where it's kind of all sounds the same. It's just.
I feel like I gotta be in the country. I have to like live in Georgia. I gotta be on the highway to appreciate. I can't be driving through Queens listening to like Blake Shelton and being like, "Today's a good day. Thank you, Blake Shelton." It doesn't do it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some like Alan Jackson is a good like older country, has a little bit more, or like Toby Keith or George Strait.
You fuck with Creed?
Some of those older guys, but
Creed is making a huge comeback.
Creed has one of the best halftime shows ever. Come on.
I really never got into.
Damn.
The good.
Bro, I remember Creed back in the day. My uncle showed me, and then they fell off forever. And it was like early 2000s. They had a couple good years.
With Arms Wide Open song, right?
And then all of a sudden, they just have a huge fucking comeback.
Who's that group? I forgot their name. They had that big record with Jay-Z.
Linkin Park?
Linkin Park.
Yeah, well, the main one of the main guys passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Linkin Park, I got them. I still listen to them every once in a while on my gym playlist.
Remember, this one kind of blended a little bit of rap into some of like the hard rock. Was Limp Bizkit. Remember Limp Bizkit?
Yep.
Fuck yeah,
Remember that hot chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water? Remember that album?
Bro.
When that album dropped, I remember like. Because they had the parental advisory, the explicit content album, but then they had the censored album, and you couldn't even listen to the censored album because everything was censored. The second song, I think it was called Hot Dog, and it had like 47 F-bombs in it, so the entire song was just bleep, 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 bleep. You couldn't even listen to the song.
Should have never put on that album.
I'm like, you shouldn't even have a censored album.
Ever heard the fun fact about Limp Bizkit in the World Trade Center on 9/11? So I forgot which music video it was, but Limp Bizkit's music video, they're performing on the top of one of the World Trade Centers. And on September 10th, 2001, the World Trade Center sent them like an appreciation letter, like, "Hey, thank you for including us in your music video, yada, yada, yada. We really appreciate it." And it was like, something that you want to hang up. And then the next day was fucking 9/11. But it's September 10th they received that. I was like, that's crazy, man. But another fun fact song that's kind of out there is Jay-Z. I forgot the artist's name, but Arabian Nights. One of my best friends in high school was Pakistan, and every time I used to put on at the party, he used to fucking flip his shit. He's like, "Turn this fucking shit off."
Oh, that song was crazy.
Bro, I still fucked with that song.
Holy moly.
He's like, "Dude, turn the shit off. I don't want to fucking hear this shit."
I'm big with hookah.
Yeah, okay.
You had mentioned, I was going to ask you, big hookah guy. You mentioned it a couple times.
Huge hookah.
I used to be huge in high
right
school.
before I got here. So we would go to hookah lounges. Every fucking hookah lounge, that whole like 2 years, they would play. That would be like prime time.
Yeah.
That song come on, everybody jumping up and down, going crazy. Like, holy shit!
Bro, we used to do hookah a lot in high school. I remember one of my buddies. We were waiting for we were outside of GameStop waiting for the new Madden to come out, and we're in his old school, like, I don't know, 2004 Pontiac, and we're just fucking ripping the hookah, hot boxing it, windows up, and we're in there for like an hour. And I remember coming out.
Basically what we're doing right now here. Hotbox was
we got the fucking ghetto exhaust system.
Yeah.
But I remember getting out, and I remember standing up, and I had a fucking fall
on the
car. I was like, holy shit. I was so lightheaded.
You're really not supposed to inhale the hookah.
No.
They're fucking ready to faint and shit.
Dude, I'll tell you. So this, one of my wife's clients is, I think they're Pakistan, Indian, Middle Eastern family. And he had his 50th birthday party. Very, very well off Middle Eastern family. And he had his 50th birthday party, and it was my wife's client, so they invited him. I came over, and just beautiful, gorgeous house, right? And I'm like, I don't know anybody there except for my wife, and so I'm showing up. She was already there, and I show up. And I'm like, all right, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, right? I have no idea. So she introduced me, and a great couple there. But you want to talk about partying, like.
Yeah, they
had a fucking party. Okay,
yeah.
Dude. So they're partying. They're ripping shots. His whole backyard is like a club basically. It's got bartenders everywhere, right? So we're ripping shots. We're dancing. They're doing the thing. Like they're doing all the Indian dances, and I'm learning how to. I'm like, they go screw the light bulb, stir the pot. Screw the light bulb, stir. Right? We're doing this whole thing, right? And all of a sudden we're getting hammered. We're ripping shots, all this stuff. The next thing you know, out of his house, there's like 3 like cocktail girls, but they're hookah girls. And they all come out with hookahs, like bottle service, but hookahs, like with like the sparklers and shit with hookah. I'm like, what the fuck is this? They go, oh yeah, we're about to do hookah, right? They have 3 hookahs, 3 different flavors. They walk around and they hand you these little mouthpiece condoms for everybody. And they set hookah stations up in the middle of this guy's birthday party. I'm like, what the fuck? They go, oh yeah. So now I'm walking around ripping shot. I'm going, well, this one's vanilla latte. This one's like, mint julep. Well, I'm just in the middle of the party, middle of the dance floor. It was like it's bottle service. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, this is the best 50th birthday I've ever been to. Yeah. I was like, "What? You gonna do this again next year? Can I come back?" Like, this is awesome, man.
That's big. I'm Middle Eastern myself, from Jordan.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
that's huge.
That's our
That's like
culture. So every wedding we go to, even when you're not allowed to have hookah inside, there'll be 4 hookahs outside. More people are outside waiting for the hookahs to smoke the hookah, waiting for their turn than inside the party.
Got like an octopus one, with like
and
9 hoses.
Yeah,
and shit.
Everyone flipping out like, yo, you gotta come back inside. Nobody's listening.
Yeah.
Everybody's outside. Some people having cigars, some people having hookahs.
Doing both.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
the secret is you got to do that at cocktail hour, because that was one specific thing my wife said. She's like, we can have cigars, we have a cigar roller, but it's got to be at cocktail hour because I'm not having people during the party all outside. I almost slipped. Half the guys were at my wedding were all cigar guys, so they wouldn't all outside just chilling. She's like, I want everyone to be partying. So
I almost
that's like a rule of thumb.
in your wedding. Yeah, I almost made him lose his deposit.
So Tony,
I had a cigar in my mouth, and he was doing like the groomsmen walkouts, and he was waiting, and everybody's like, everybody's like, what are you gonna do? Because everybody did you walk out and you do like a thing, right? Whenever somebody does like. They do a twirl, they do a dip, they do something.
I would have walked out to go.
I know, so I was like, I had the cigar in my hand, and I'm like, should I do it, guys? They go, yeah, fucking do it. Light it up and smile. I'm like, I was like, I want to so bad. Just have it lit and just take a puff, but
I need my security deposit.
Yeah, I wound up chugging a beer instead, but it was, I wanted too bad, man. But anyway.
Appreciate you not doing that. But Tony, we're coming to the end of the podcast here, my friend. So we've been talking a lot about what you're doing and all the things that are coming up. This is kind of just the red carpet time of the podcast where you kind of just plug away, you just shamelessly plug anything that you got going on, where people can find you on social media. The floor is yours, my friend.
Tony Moxberg on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't really be on Twitter like that. X, whatever they want to call it now.
I still call it Twitter.
Yeah. But Instagram, YouTube, everything Tony Moxberg. Beautiful Struggle 4 is on the way. New single, Run It Up with Benny the Butcher, with the videos on the way. Love Remix with Jadakiss and Rick Ross on the way. We got our own wine company, Don Alessandro, on the way actually this week or next week. I'm definitely going to have you guys test it out.
I would love to try it.
We'd love that.
We got the red wine coming, the sparkling wine. We got the white wine coming right after that. That's pretty much it. Mox Collective, my flower line, is going to be in dispensaries everywhere real soon. Just, working. Entrepreneur life.
Hustle. Love it, brother. Well, we appreciate you coming on, man. It's
Thank
been
you
a
guys
pleasure.
for having me. Appreciate
it was great. So we'll see everybody on the next one. As we like to say on the podcast, Tony, we like to say cheers, chin chin, and salud.